Good evening, folks. Welcome back to a Wednesday night hobby hangout. Nice to see you all. Sorry that I wasn't around last week. Obviously, I wasn't very well last week. But yes, I am feeling much better. I think today is probably the first day in over a week and a half, where I've really kind of felt like, actually, I might be healthy again. Today I felt great. So yes, nice to see you all. Bit of a change of scenery tonight. We are doing the Dreadball, the painting challenge. Is it March? Yeah, it is March. The BlackJack Legacy March Dreadball painting challenge. We're going to go over everybody's entries tonight and just kind of like show who completed it. And I thought that by the time I kind of spend some time going through them, it's not really going to leave me a lot of time to do much painting. So what I thought was we'd just have a bit of a rambly chat tonight. You don't need to get to watch me painting, but we will be looking over everybody's entries. So yes, we'll get to that in a bit, but we'll start as we always do by saying hello to you good folks who've come and join the chat tonight. So Connor was in nice and early, he says. 5:57 he was here, so just what's that, two and a half hours ago. Nice to see you in, Connor. Lord Maiden, hello to you, mate. How are you doing, Ian? We got Marcus the Super Pumpkin Man says, good afternoon, everyone. He said he stayed up until 1 a.m. to watch Godzilla vs. King Kong and fell asleep after 3, but worth it. I saw a trailer for it the other day, actually, and I must admit, it's not something that had been on my radar, but the trailer did look quite interesting. Peter saying, evening all as well. Hello, Peter Koeman. He's saying, couldn't decide. So scenery and bolt action Belgians on his paint tray tonight. Nice one. What else is everybody else painting? What's on your painting table this evening? I've not painted since I was painting that McMorning model 2 weeks ago. I've not picked up a paintbrush since then, which is feels weird. I can't remember the last time I haven't painted in this long. With me being ill and stuff, that kind of just took the wind out my sail. I didn't really feel like painting when I was ill. I didn't feel like I could concentrate. Marcus has said it would have been better with friends in the movie theatre. Yeah, I can imagine it. It's going to be weird going back to a cinema, actually. I do wonder how much this is going to affect things. I have heard things like the Snyder Cut for Justice League has done really, really well on HBO Max, and I think the Disney stuff's doing pretty good on Disney Plus as well. So I think it may. I wonder how much it'll affect cinema in totality once things get back to normal. Excuse me. I wonder what the long term effect is on cinema. Marcus says I'm going to paint and assemble his Shantae Half Genie Hero resin kit today. Nice one, mate. Phil Wilkinson hope everyone is well. We're very good, thank you. Said glad the sun's back. It looks like the sun's been and gone for us, mate. Yesterday was quite nice. Me and my wife actually sat outside last night, and I had the first beer I've had in about two weeks, and we put the fire pit on and we sat outside with the fire pit, which was quite nice. And then today the weather was beautiful this morning, really sunny. I sat out in the garden with my laptop while I was setting up tonight's stream. But then tonight it's coming really foggy. I think the weather forecast for tomorrow is going to be about 7 degrees. I think it's going to snow on Monday. So yeah, I think the 1 day of sunshine in the northeast of England is gone, mate. Lord Maiden says, thanks, I hope to continue building and finish building his Reaver Titans for Adeptus Titanicus. At some point I would like to give Adeptus Titanicus a try. I've never really given it a second glance, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, I'd like to give it a try at some point. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. I was skipping ahead to check and make sure there's no issues with the sound or anything. That's a whole different ball game. We'll come on to that in a bit. Where else we have? Blizzards. Nice to see you in, mate, as well. Lord Maiden saying we need to roll sixes to keep the legacy rage at bay. I ran out of coffee today. I'm still officially on quarantine today. I can't leave the house. From midnight tonight, I can leave the house. My quarantine's over. But I ran out of coffee today, and it was like, I can't go out and get any. What am I going to do? And then I thought, I'm going to order some from Prime now, where they do like 2-hour delivery. And it was like, I am not ordering a delivery just for some coffee. So I've just been drinking juice all day, and then I'll treat myself and go and get a drive-through tomorrow because I can actually leave the house again. Where else we at? Scott Latham, good evening to you, sir. How are you doing? John Estel, evening all. He said, I'm painting my captains to join his Brockers and his Sphere teams. Very nice. Mr. Estel, your pictures are obviously coming up a little bit later on as well. You've been very busy, mate, painting Dreadball teams. Ortega, hello, mate. Hello, here you are in the rerun watching back. I hope you're well, mate. Simon Parford, good evening to you, sir. Ed Handley as well, good evening. Marcus has seen he just got his order from Green Stuff World in the mail. What did you order, mate? Tell us what you ordered. Jeff Higdon, hello to you, mate. He says, I am excited to your work. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, mate, but good afternoon, sir. Christian, hello to you, mate. How you doing? Tasty Brain Drain, hello. Bobby Clark, evening to you, sir. Kodos is in as well. Good evening to you, mate. Andrew Fairbanks says, don't worry, I'm here tonight. Well, I was going to just kind of hang around, mate, but I did see your name there, so welcome. Good morning, VJ. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Hope life's treating you good. Christopher Warden says, USA people, if you haven't heard, you can subscribe to Warhammer 40,000 Imperium now. That is good news, because I think it was going to be UK-based originally, wasn't it? So I'm glad to see it's starting to kind of stretch around the world a bit. VJ says, someone is sounding pretty chipper today. Like I said before, mate, today is definitely the first day where I've actually started to feel healthy again. I was chatting to my wife about it the other day, because I've been kind of a bit down in the dumps lately. And like she said to me today, she went, like, you haven't got to forget you were feeling a bit down in the dumps, but it's like you weren't well. You were ill at the time. Like, of course you weren't feeling great. And I think that's been part of it as well. You kind of forget when you're not feeling well, like you don't feel yourself kind of thing. But yeah, I feel much better today. Connor's preparation is key. Have you just been sitting there, mate, for like the last 2.5 hours? Just, it's going to start soon. VJ says, yeah, he's keen for Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah, like I said, I watched when I was a bit ill at the weekend and I was kind of lying around on the sofa doing nothing. I was just flicking through YouTube and I watched a whole batch of movie trailers of films that was coming up this year, and one of them was Godzilla versus Kong, and I think I remember at the back of my mind, it was a thing that was going to happen, but it had completely skipped my mind. But yeah, the trailer looked pretty decent, if I'm honest. Yoga says, good evening, folks. Trying to sort out the mess in my hobby drawers while I'm watching great painted Dreadball minis. I've given up trying to sort out hobby drawers, mate. As long as the tops are clear, the drawers can stay as they are. VG says, I spent the last month catching up on Monsterverse films. So the girl that's in this, it is Millie Bobby Brown, isn't it? The girl that's in Stranger Things. She was in the last Godzilla movie as well. Have you seen that one? Is that worth a watch? Because I know this is kind of like a successor, like a follow-up to the last Godzilla movie. Peter Stockdale, good evening to you, mate. Luke, hello to you, sir. This is how we're diddling. I haven't heard that in ages, mate. How are you diddling? Just crack the shorts out and don't expect to cover up my shins. I've got my shorts on as well. I have, there you go. I've got shorts, look, legs. My shorts have been on all day as well. I expect to be freezing tomorrow, but yes, the shorts are on today. I'm making the most of it. Andy Wilson, hello. He says, I was ill too last week, trying to get 10 more fire drakes finished. Well, I hope you're feeling better, mate, and good luck on the fire drakes. Scott's finishing painting his Untamed Beasts. Nice one. I love the Untamed Beasts, mate. Simon Parfix said he's working on another Dreadball team at the moment. He's doing the Brocker team, like the Eternian God from He-Man. Oh, what a scheme, mate. I like it. We got Andrew Wodzansky in as well. I hope I pronounced that right, mate. He says, I have to tear down my folio lighting booth set up last night to take the March challenge photos. Thank you very much, mate. Andrew Fairbanks says, cinemas, those are so 2019. It's going to be weird, mate. I do wonder what effect it's going to have on the cinema industry. VJ said he's just in from his run, so he's off for a shower. We've got Radek in as well. He said he's had a week and a half break from painting, but I think I'll just go grab Maxon from God's Tier. Primed him weeks ago. Time to get it done. That's the way, mate. Just dive in, crack on. Ed Handley said he's working on the last piece of his 40k Command Edition scenery booster. Feels nice to get stuff completed, mate, doesn't it? Peter said he's late. He tripped up carry excess minis to storage. Or carrying excess minis. Peter, you were 4 minutes, mate, and it must have took you 30 seconds to type that. So you're probably bang on time. Ed said he's really not expecting the big commercial cinema chains to survive. It's going to be weird, isn't it? It's going to be strange. I mean, you're so used to kind of... I do wonder. I mean, when you think about sort of box office take-ins, you know, Marvel films taking sort of hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office and stuff like that. I do wonder if they feel that they can... Because obviously when they make money from the box office, obviously the cinemas are taking a cut as well. I do wonder, now these big companies have got their own streaming services, things like Disney and things like Warner Brothers and stuff. I do wonder whether it's whether that's the way now they're going to start forcing people down that route. It's going to be it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Where are we up to here? Andrew's saying, working now, been painting a one-off squad of Cadians this week. Half done, should finish tonight. A nice one. Lord Maiden's doing good. Glad to hear it, fella. Mark said he's a little late. Ruddy, real-life work. Don't worry about being late, mate. You were like five minutes. I'll cut you some slack for 5 minutes. Evening all, says Steve Evans. Hello to you. Hello, Marco, as well, mate. He's painting Core Space. Connor says, can't tell the time. Andy Wilson, he says, I've subscribed to Warhammer Imperium and a recent email from Hatchet said I have to wait until late summer for my first edition. Yeah, I think a lot of the UK folks got a similar email recently as well. Peter said he's painting these flayed ones now that they're primed after I quell the bleed. Oh, I hope you've not hurt yourself, mate. Luke's saying Morbius looks good. Morbius, oh yeah, that's the Marvel thing, isn't it? With I'm trying to remember who's in it now. It's the guy that played Jared Leto, isn't it? I saw the trailer for that as well. That looked good. I tell you what, I'm genuinely excited for is Spiral, which is like kind of Chris Rock is in it along with Samuel Jackson, and it's like a spin-off of the Saw films. I love the Saw films. I'm a massive horror fan, and Spiral looks like it might be just enough to kind of kickstart that the Saw stuff again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Luke's saying Godzilla King of Monsters is a belter of a movie, over the top nonsense, and I love it. I love one of the reasons I thought the trailers look good is I like the way they're shot, so it looks like you're kind of like looking up at the monsters kind of thing, as opposed to almost like sort of helicopter views of these two big things fighting. I like the idea of kind of seeing it as if you're on the ground looking up at these giant beasts. It was one of the reasons the Transformers films were a bit more kind of believable is not the right word, but why they like being shot from down below and seeing these huge things coming over the top is one of the reasons that they look so good on film. Jeff Burbridge, hello to you, mate. How are you doing? He said he's priming some 3D printed Bad Batch minis. Bad Batch, why do I know that name and I can't think what they are? Centurious Art says, good afternoon to all folks. I love this painting showcase streams. This community is full of talent. It's nice to do this kind of stuff. I mean, it's nice that the challenges that I do are always like, they're not about how good are you. It's just about, look, here's a little challenge. Can you achieve it? I don't care how good a painter you are. I want you to get some enjoyment from finishing something, from completing something. That sense of achievement, and it's nice to show them off once everybody does them. I think it was 23 people completed a challenge, which is good. You know, they're worth doing if there's enough people want to kind of take part in them. Lord Maiden saying, amateurs, I've been in shorts since the first lockdown. You want to try living in the northeast of England, mate? Shorts are a rare occurrence up here. Blizzard's is saying he's starting on Rasputina's crew. A nice choice, mate. Bit more Malifaux. Steve said he's painting some 2mm and 6mm stuff. He's how you paint 2mm stuff. There you go. Done. Plus he's prepping another crew member for his retro 40k Stargrave crew. Nice one. Derek Hodges just finished a Skeleton Dragon. Nice one. Yes, Jared Leto, that was it. Yeah, Luke's saying he's not heard of Spiral. Yeah, check it out, mate. It looks really, really good. I think it's called like Spiral, like because of the the Saw red spiral thing that you see on the things. It's called Spiral from the Book of Saw, and I think it's part of like a new sort of side avenue, obviously with Jigsaw being dead and all that kind of stuff. This is a bit of a side track that takes off. It looks like it's going to really kind of rejuvenate it again. Andrew's saying, once this lighting booth is down, I have a box from Conan Properties. I think there's an elephant and castle inside. And Andrew says, funny, I always thought it was the explosion that made Transformers so good. It's some very, very good cinematography, mate. And Peter says, I didn't paint a Dreadball team. I don't have one. Somebody else didn't paint a Dreadball team, but I said that basically the Patreons, if they didn't want to paint Dreadball teams, they could paint any sports teams if they wanted. So we do have a submission that's not a Dreadball team as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with the... let me just shut some of these down so that we can go here. And if I go across to here, there we go. You should be able to see the first one. So this one is from Tristan Coulson, and this is his Aerotech Tankers. He also has a very nice Dreadball board here as well. I think the company that makes these pitches, like the arena things, is actually not very far from where I live. It's up in the northeast, and it's a place called Amira Plastics. We used to use them for a company I worked for as well, and then I realised when I saw them on the website that they made them as well. So yes, Here as his team, the Aerotech Tankers, on a very nice pitch as well. But we'll scroll across to the next. I'm going to have to open them separately. For some reason it doesn't want to. Oh, it's because it was zoomed in. So here we go. So these, for those that haven't seen these, I think these are the ones that are included in the first edition box as well. Obviously still still a team you can buy, but I think they were in the first edition box. So yes, very nicely done. There's something about kind of just blue and orange together that instantly screams sci-fi to me. I love that. And yeah, and here they are with their numbers on the backs as well. Yeah, I like that. It's a nice touch. Numbers used to be a bit more of a thing, I think, in first edition. I think you used to have to track the numbers a bit more. Not so much, I think, in second edition. So yes, thank you very much, Tristan. I think he was one of the first folks to submit his as well. Stephen Smolders with his Midgard Delvers here. So let's zoom in and have a look at these. Also, I can't see the chat because I've obviously moved it off the screen. I hope the sound's okay now. I had to play around with a few things to find out where that kind of interference was coming from. It's nothing to do with connections. Randomly, I've had to turn a couple of things off in settings that I've never had to do before. I don't know if it's been some kind of driver update that's caused a few glitches, but yeah, it took me a while to find out what it was. So yeah, Midgard Delvers. We have a little drink while we look at these. I love that silver on the helmets and stuff. The silver and blue looks really nice together. I also like I like the way he's coloured. Excuse me. The way he's coloured the bases as well, so you can tell the different positions apart. So we've got these black ones here, or maybe a dark blue, sort of orangey red, and then the other blue there as well. Nice idea to tell the different ones apart. So thank you, Steve Smolders. John Jack, the legend himself. I don't know if he's around tonight, but I'm sure you might get to see these. This is I like this the way he's taking this picture as well. It kind of really does show them off. But yeah, this is his Corvus Cryptics. Yeah, very, very nice work on these as well. It looks like we've got a bit of kit bashing here as well, with some kind of ratkin heads, and I have no idea where that eyeball's from, but I like it. And yeah, there's definitely some kind of gribbly bits and stuff on these. It looks like, from glancing at them, it looks like there's a mix of stuff in here, some kind of like werewolf looking bits. But it looks like these are the zombies from Dead Zone, are they? That might be where I'm seeing some of these parts from. Very nice, John Jack. Blizzards, the man, the myth, the legend. This is, I think I wrote the team names down. If people had said team names, I don't think he has on this one. So let's get in a bit closer there. Very, very nice, mate. Again, there's just something about that kind of blue and orange. Always screams sci-fi to me. I love it. I painted my first ever Infinity Minis that kind of blue and orange, and it really does kind of just feel like sci-fi. I like what you've done on these bases as well, mate. These, like, it takes some kind of filling those bases in. You can see my cursor, can't you? Yeah. It takes some filling those bases in, so you've done a good job on them, mate. Very nice indeed. VJ, this is the person that didn't do a Dreadball team, but he did do a Blitzball team, and I said yes, by all means. If it means you're going to paint and you're going to get something finished, absolutely take part. So yes, this is his Blitzball team. Very, very nice, mate. I love the finish on those. The kind of brassy bronze as well on the shoulder plate really does come up nice, and I love the markings on the bases as well. Nice work, mate. I love it. Claudio. Here we go with Claudio's Z team. I think, oh no, it was somebody else called it. I think it was Steve called them something else. But let's zoom in and see these fellas here as well. Let me just go back and check on the chat and make sure everything's going okay on here. Yeah, everybody seems to. Yes, everybody. I love Maiden saying, I forgot you zoomed in. I have to, so you get to see them. Yeah, everything looks to be okay. It looks like my everything seems to be working fine. There we go. Yes, very nice, Claudio. I love the colours. I'm not familiar with the Z team, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, they look pretty cool. They've definitely got a bit of a Marvin the Martian feel about them, that's for sure. Yes, very, very nice. Of course I have to zoom in, Ian. Of course I have to. I really love the detail. You've even done eyes. I tell you what, mate, extra points for doing eyes. And then look. I mean, look at that one. I'm gonna zoom in. I tell you what, Claudio, you might be my new king of doing eyes. Look at that. And I know how small these kind of models are, just from the size of the bases. That is some level of detail, that, mate. I'm giving you bonus props for that one. Nice work, mate. Good work, Claudio. Chris Pudney. And this one, very much. This is with the team using the aliens from Mars Attacks, the Martians, which is a legitimate Dreadball team. But I love that colour. I love that gold, green, and purple together. It screams kind of. I tell you, that one there as well, the one in the background, has definitely got a bit of Judge Dredd shoulder pad going on. But yeah, I really love those. I love the colours, and I love what you've done here with the ball as well. Let's just go back. I think there's another one as well. And say, the one with the flag at the background as well. I've got these minis in there from Mars Attacks. I should really paint some up at some point. I do like the cheerleaders at the back as well. They were kind of hidden away. Cheerleaders just kind of hidden in the background as well. One behind the flag there. Very nice work, mate. I love that. Really, really love that. You've done a great job on them as well. Steve Evans, the man in the chat tonight. These are, excuse me. These are his BlackJack hobgoblins. I love these ones that are basically falling over here. Really, really nice, mate. I love it. Love it. Oh yeah, I can't skip across here. Oh, even bonus points for you as well with the BJ, with the BlackJack on the side as well. I love it, mate. Really, really nice. Numbers on the shoulders there as well. Love the colour on the ball. Let's see the rest as well. These big guys really are big guys in comparison to these, aren't they? Again, mate, love the colours. There's something about kind of Dreadball teams. Nice bold colours always come out looking good. And then we've got a bit of a team shot here as well, which looks great, mate. And again, love the finish around the bases as well. It's nice just to kind of set them off. Brilliant work, mate. Love them. Love them. Mark Berracloth. Let's have a look at his as well. So he's been doing the I always struggle to say this, 9th Moon Tree Sharks. So let's have a little zoom onto these guys as well. Love the bases, mate. Really, really like that finish around the base. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of these particular models. Well, the ones I've got, I haven't painted yet, because I keep looking at them thinking, how the hell am I going to paint them? But you've done a really cracking job on them, mate. You've done a cracking job. And actually, it's kind of inspired me to maybe, put a bit of paint on mine after all. I like that, mate. Really nice. And, this is a very thematic shot. It feels very Dreadball. That could be in the rule book, that, mate. I love it. Really well done, mate. You've done a cracking job of those, because I know exactly what those models are like. So yeah, you've done a cracking job on them, mate. Right, we'll do, how many we got here? We'll do up to Simon Parfit, and then we'll have a little break, and we'll come back and do the rest later. Luke Pryor. Love these colours. See, again, blue and orange, scream sci-fi. Absolutely love it, mate. It looks brilliant. This is the crew or the team that I'm busy working on at the moment as well. So I've been printing myself some bases to use with mine. So I've been getting them done before I've started painting them. But yeah, they're the next team on my list. I have decided what colour I should say. I hadn't decided, but I decided to do them the same colour I've done my dwarfs for Kings of War. So yeah, I've got my blue paint scheme for those. I like them, mate. Let's have a look at these guys. I love it with the white as well. The white really does stand out on those. Nice work, mate. Nice work. Whoops. Oh yeah, that's alright. I'm doing the right thing. They look fantastic, mate. I really like them. Are you going to do anything with the bases, Luke, or is that kind of is that where you're finishing on them? Because they look good, but I didn't know whether you were going to plan to do kind of paint them all one colour, but do there anything different with the bases or anything like that? Love them, mate. Love the blue on the back as well. Love the bit of highlight in there. Really does make it pop. Let's have a look at Ortega. I forget what these are called now. Is it the is this a Matsudan? I think it is. Really nice, mate. Nice use of colours. Love the different coloured bases as well. Set them apart. I like being able to kind of tell the different positions apart because I don't know the models kind of like inside out. Really nice, fella. Really nice. They're slimy looking little slugs, aren't they? But yeah, I love the texture on the belly and stuff. Nice bit of shading on the shoulder pads there as well, mate. But yeah, doing the bases different colours definitely helps. And Simon Parfit. Let's have a look at the Parfit Parolees. Now, when the first few teams I got submitted were these kind of convict ones, and it's the first team I painted as well. There was a bit of a run on these because obviously the Dreadball Extreme box was super cheap, and everybody kind of piled on it. So I had a feeling everybody was going to paint the same team, but that's not what's happened. Really nice on these as well, mate. Let me just give these a little bit of a showcase as well across the team there. Love the choice of pink there. I went with kind of like a more human coloured skin, but do love the choice of pink skin there, mate. Love the bright colours. Love the coloured hair. Nice on this kind of armour as well. Really does look kind of almost metallic-y. Yeah, I think that's kind of more the skin tone I think I went for. Love them, mate. They feel like a team, but they feel like a kind of like a ragbag like kind of team. Big Guardians of the Galaxy kind of feel about them. Really nice, mate. And then we'll do Lee Millward and we'll come back to the others. So this is the Welsh miniature board gamer. I think if I remember right, he said he'd gone for kind of like a Mexican cartel feel for them, which I really like it as well. Let's do a bit of a zoom there as well. Nice work on the what's he called? Like the kind of like the manager, the coach thing. Really nice. Love the kind of like the what do you call it? Like the makeup on the skin as well. The kind of like the war paint looks really good. Yeah, really nicely finished, mate. I do like them with these blue bases, mine. I must admit, mine have just been left in the box, those blue bases, because I cut all mine off to rebase them. But yeah, they look really nice, mate. Really nice. So yeah, so that was up to Welsh miniature board gamer. So next one up will be Mr. Ian Pennells. We'll come back and we'll have a look at those ones, and I'll pop back to the chat and see how we are doing. So I'm going to pop back here and see where we're up to. Where were we up to? Ed Handley says Bad Batch is a Clone Wars spin-off. That's where I've seen it. I saw it advertised the other day. Yes, that's why I've seen it, mate. Krabby says hello there. Hello, Krabby. How are you doing, mate? Peter says the only sports game I have is a Blood Bowl team manager card game. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to come up with another challenge now for April, to be fair. I must admit, I kind of forgot April was like tomorrow. So yeah, we need to come up with another challenge. I think giving folks kind of like 4 to 6 weeks is a nice little, it's a nice kind of time scale, so that if you've got something ready to go, you can dive straight into it. If you want to take part but you want to buy something different, you've got time to kind of purchase something and then still have time to work on it. It gives you enough time to finish like a kind of maybe like a 10-man crew or something like that, or a 10-person crew, without feeling too much pressure. And like kind of like 4 to 6 weeks, I think is a nice little sort of time scale for those things. Jim Zorm says, greetings, Andy. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing much better, thanks, mate. Nice to see you. Andrew saying, my God, that stadium. Yeah, honestly, mate, I might be at a show later on where it comes from, but it's like a vacuum pressed plastic stadium. However, it only fits in the version 1 Dreadball pitch. So if you prefer the bigger size hexes, unfortunately, it doesn't fit inside. Hello, man, saying, yeah, I forgot you zoomed in, yeah. Hello, man, saying the sound is great, just like those dwarfs. Thank you. Yeah, it took me a hell of a lot of I apologise profusely for Monday night for the audio issues when I flipped across to kind of doing the presentation slides. It's never done that before. I tested it before the stream. It wasn't doing it before the stream. And I know everybody was kind of trying to guess on the stream on Monday what the issues were about loose connections or all this kind of stuff. It was to do with the capture card. So I've got an Elgato 4K internal capture card. So it's the most expensive capture card I've got. And I've got 3 capture cards. So it wasn't kind of like any data transfer issues. There was no sound going through that card. All the sound was going through the microphone, but the microphone was sounding fine on other scenes. It was something to do. What I ended up doing was I ended up moving the HDMI to a different capture card, retried it, worked absolutely fine. And it took me a while to find out. And what I've had to do is I've had to go into the settings in OBS, and like some things which were muted, which wouldn't have made any difference, I've had to turn, like they were turned up to like 100% volume, but then muted so that it wouldn't make any difference. I actually had to go in and turn them down to 0 and still leave them muted. And it seems to have cleared the issue, and I've got no idea why I would ever have had to do that. So there's definitely maybe some driver update or something in the background is conflicting with something. But yeah, it's took me lots of trial and error to try and find out what it was. This is the problem when you do this on your own, and like, you know, you can't do it on the fly kind of thing while you're streaming. I can't just go, oh, hang on a second, I'm just going to start fault finding and see what it is. I've learned a long time ago, just suck it up and take it on the chin. Yeah, everyone's already did the Zoom. Yeah, John Ashley Smith, hello to you, mate. Hope you're well. Luke's saying, they're a bit tasty. Love the big eye, dude. Can't help but think a handful of grit would bring him down. Bit of dust in the eye. That would do it, yes. Blizzard saying, Vallejo plastic putty. Is that how you did the bases, mate? It worked a treat. Really did look good. Andrew saying, I know those Martians. Yes. Yeah, and sound was all good. That's good, mate. John was saying, was that VJ Morph's team? Yes, it was VJ's team, mate, one of them there. Hex bases, yes. Hex bases for Dreadball, mate. All the teams have hex bases. Let's have a look, see where they are as well. Andrew saying there, what a ball the support staff. What a support staff. The Red Planet rules, yes. Busey says, please zoom in on all the eyes. I only did it because that one was absolutely particularly special, mate. That was why. Yeah, Hobgoblins have the best prone models in the line. They do look really good, mate, don't they? John says, I just haven't seen hex bases since Battletech and Heavy Gear, come to think of it. Yes, Dreadball, mate, hex bases. The game is played on a hex-based pitch. So yes, it's funny actually. I mean, there's a reason for it in Dreadball because you've got a front and a rear facing. But even things like God Tier, which play on a hex grid, have round bases. I actually prefer them to have hex bases. I've actually changed the bases on my Aristia team to have hex bases to go on the hex grid. Andrew saying those Yindage are not easy. Pat yourself on the back. Yeah, they definitely are. Mark did a fantastic job on them. Luke saying they were Miami Dolphin. That was right. I remember you saying you were going to do the Miami Dolphin team now. I remember that. Yeah, I'm just kind of skimming down now. Matsudan. Is that what I said? Was he right on those? Excuse me. Excuse me. Mark saying, really enjoyed painting those Ninth Moon tree sharks. First time with was it contrast paint, mate? It looked really, really good, to be fair. I think what I might do is I might do mine exactly the same. Then, if I'm perfectly honest, I might just give them a prime, contrast paint them with the green, and pick out bits of gold and stuff. You did a fantastic job on them, mate. Well, let's just skip ahead. Let me just find it. Andrew saying different colour bases for positions makes gameplay so much smoother. Yeah, I must admit, the first time I played and I was teaching my wife how to play, I hadn't even painted the models. We literally kind of took them out the box and played with them as they are. And actually, it kind of stopped the game, if I'm honest. It really slowed down the game where we were going, right, what's that one? What's that model? Is that a guard? Is that a striker? It wasn't that easy, especially in just kind of bare plastic. It wasn't easy to see what each one was. So what I did for the next time was I went and I just painted around the bases just so I could tell them apart. And then the game flowed really well after that, and I really enjoyed playing it with my wife. Since then, I always kind of paint the rear of the bases. And that's why the bases I've been making on my 3D printer, I've actually put in the rear now. I've actually stamped in like guard, striker, and stuff as well. Lord Maiden saying, move on from me. Just say they look good, don't show them. I'm really proud, one, of everybody that took part and managed to achieve it. But I'm also really proud of everybody that sent me pictures to kind of show off. It's one thing kind of like sort of submitting the pictures. It's another thing having them sort of shown to folks online. So yeah, thank you very much for those that did that. John saying he's awesome painting there with those Z's with the tiny eyes are great. Yes, they definitely are. Tasty Brain Drain saying that the dwarf team is nice. Yes. Blizzard saying could always do a Malifaux challenge for April. Yeah, actually, I might just do that. I've got plenty of stuff to paint myself. I might do a Malifaux challenge. We seem to be getting a bit of Malifaux kind of love around the channel at the minute from folks that's been watching it. The streams have been doing well for the painting streams. Folks seem to like seeing them being painted. The live stream that I did on Malifaux about kind of how to get started had some decent views. So yeah, I think we might do a Malifaux challenge. And maybe give the other because what I want to do for the Patreons as well is I want to make sure they can still take part in every challenge, even if it's not a game they're interested in, so that they've got something to do each month. So I might have a little side challenge for Patreons who do want to take part in the Malifaux one. But yeah, I think we might have a Malifaux one next time. Every challenge I've done up till now, to be fair, has been a Mantic one, and not by design. It's just the way it's fell. So I've done like the Kings of War kind of painting challenge. I did the Dead Zone painting challenge a while ago. We've ended up doing a Dreadball one almost by kind of like sort of by proxy. So yeah, I think we'll do something different next time. Duffy says greetings from a soggy Levertown. Nice to see you, sir. Lord Maiden says no one wants to see me. Everyone wants to see your minis, mate. Don't put yourself down. VG saying yeah, nice one. Gaslands is great. Not sure if I'll make EOSS. I'm all out weekend gigging. EOSS what? I don't know what that is. It must be. Oh, it must be some stream, is it? I'm assuming so. Peter saying, oh, you know, if I have one gang for Malifaux, there you go, mate. Peter says, anyone up for a smaller painting challenge? Paint a model to represent a character you'd like to play in D&D, like a 1 month challenge. We could do something like that as well, mate. Peter says, I couldn't paint a dragon in a month. If you put your mind to it, mate, you can paint anything you want in the time you've got. Luke saying, what about a warband challenge? So you could have Mythos, Malifaux, Frostgrave, Stargrave. Yeah, something like that might not be a bad one, mate. I mean, it doesn't have to be linked to a particular game. Just it's more just about sort of getting people painting, really. That's what it's always about. Busey says, Arson Cell, really good stick-on eyes. The only problem is they wobble when you move the mini. You could call that added realism. Mine only wobble because I basically put them on the table and then take them off straight away when they get killed. They don't do a lot of moving, to be fair, mate. Small scale challenge. I'm not doing any small scale stuff. I personally don't like it, so I'm not doing any small scale stuff. It's different when we see like 15mm or things like Armada, Dystopian Wars and stuff. That's kind of different because that's the kind of scale. But I personally don't want to be painting small scale kind of 10mm minis and stuff. That's not my bag. Peter says my vision stops at 18. My vision stops at 28mm, I'll be honest. Frantic says Curse City Challenge. That'll be a struggle for us slow painters. It'll be a struggle for us to get our hands on it, mate, to even paint it. VG says we do Malifaux Challenge. I can submit photos of the mini swap. I'm just finishing. Yeah, I quite like the idea of a Malifaux challenge. It's nice to have like kind of like a topic around it. That's what kind of pulls it together. Otherwise, if it becomes a bit loose, what happens is folks don't commit to it. Like I get a lot more people completing the challenges when it's very kind of like focused and very specific. Ed saying, it'd be nice to have a generic challenge. I skipped this one because I'm not buying minis for a game I'll never play. That's fair enough, mate. That's just how it is. That's just how some of the challenges are, unfortunately. They can't please everybody with everyone, which is why we do so many different challenges. VG says, every other Sunday show. That was it. I couldn't think what it was, mate. I knew it was something. No, it's fine, mate. I was just reading it. I think I was reading it and I was trying to remember what it stood for and I couldn't remember. Marco saying, Malifaux challenge accepted. Radak saying Malifaux and Wild West Exodus, maybe weird themed models. I need to have a think about it. Like I say, that the more focused it is, the more folks take part in it, because I think it becomes less open-ended. I remember doing the challenges like last year and stuff, and I was saying things like use red, right? Like, so this is like this month's theme is red. You've got to paint a mini with red. And not many people took part in it because it was just so open-ended. People were like, oh, well, I don't really know what to do. And then as soon as I did something like the Slow Grow campaign for Kings of War, people flooded in because it was really specific. It was really like exact what they had to do. Loads of people took part in the Dead Zone challenge. Loads of people have taken part in the Dreadball challenge as well. So what I've found from trial and error over time is the more open I try to make it to get more people involved, the less people actually take part in it randomly, which is strange. Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We will pop back and we'll have a look at a few more now then. So let's go back to here. And I was trying to remember if we've done yours or not yet, mate. No, we haven't, have we? Ian Pennells. No, we've not done yours. Now, Ian, as you can see from these photos, has done a hell of a lot of work. Now, I can't remember what the names of the different teams are and stuff, so I'm not even going to try and name them. However, yes, I'm zooming in because you've done a cracking job of them, mate, as well. Do these balls come with these teams? I've not seen those balls before. Pardon the expression. I don't even think I know what that team is, mate. But you've done a cracking job on them. I love the finish. I love this. There seems to be a kind of like a bluey, grey, purple, almost kind of like blend to them as well. I really like the effect. Love the effect around here as well. Really, really nice, mate. Really nice. So yeah, I've got no idea what that team's called. I'm sure somebody's screaming it in the chat at the minute. This next team as well. Also, I don't know half of these teams. Excuse me. But I love the colours, mate. Really nice fit. I love that kind of black and gold together. Always looks good. It really makes the green pop as well. You've done a smashing job on those, mate. I'd be proud to face off against them, mate. That's for sure. I'd be proud to play them, like as my own team, to be fair. Another good job on these 9th Moon Train Sharks as well. It's putting me to shame now. I've put off painting them for so long because I look at them and I think I don't even know what the bits are on them. It's put me off painting them. But yeah, somebody else put me to shame saying yes, they're dead easy. Just do it like this. Really, really good work, mate. Love the highlights of the yellow on there as well, just making it pop. Love the skin colours as well on their faces and the kind of like the tails and stuff. Nice work, mate. Nice work. Next up, I think these are the Trontech 29ers, isn't they? This is the original team. Again, I love what you've done with them, mate. They're just really like super clean. And like I struggled painting these. I remember just that there's not a lot of detail on them. I think that's what people don't always kind of like always see as well. The details are a little bit soft on some of the earlier teams. But you've done a smashing job, mate, of just picking out the bits. I forget what he's called as well, but he's the captain as well, like the star player, isn't he? This is another team as well that was in the original first edition box set as well. The Green Moon Smackers. Again, really, really pulled it out the bag there, mate. Love the yellow stripes across the helmets. Really sets them off. The yellow and the kind of the sort of bronzy brown there as well really does contrast well with the green skin. Love what you've done on them, bud. Really nicely done. Really nicely done. I think this is the female team? I think it is, isn't it? The female, not Astevians. Could be Astevians. I can't remember now. But yeah, love this, mate. Love the pink colour. Love the pink and kind of purpley blue together. Really stands out. Looks fantastic. And I'm not that familiar. I'm assuming that the red bases are probably strikers or something, and then these ones are probably like jacks or guards or something. Some teams only have a couple of positions, don't they? Love them, mate. Really nicely done again. But yeah, you've been absolutely flying through these teams. This is the one that's in the Dreadball Extreme team, and I think this is not. Is this Renton's Rejects? I'm not, or is this just the? I forget now. I forget what the team's called, but it's yeah. Nicely done. And the difference with this team is that they're all like kind of different alien races, so it's quite difficult to pull them together as a kind of cohesive looking team, to be fair. But you've done a good job on them, mate. You've done a cracking job on those. Is that the last one? No, we've got more as well. So he's been also painting up Blaine there as well. Blaine, the referees, alternative referee, and also the what's he called, like the prison guard, the warden coach there as well. Really, really nice work, mate. Not only have you done a fantastic job on them, mate, but you've you by far painted a hell of a lot as well. Somebody else who's painted a hell of a lot as well, Mr. Estel, also doing this smashing work here. Love these shots as well. Really, really nice photographs, mate, as well. Love the different colours on the bases here as well to tell them apart. Love that yellow and blue. I haven't written this down as well, but what John said was the teams that he's painted all reference kind of sports teams that he's played for as well, like local rugby teams and things like that as well. So there's a bit of a theme to his stuff. Really nice work on them, mate. Really nice. A couple of teams here as well. And these ones are, like I say, like Trontech 29ers, I think they call it. I forget what they're like a corporation team, I think it is. Love that kind of grey and black as well. Really does come off nice there, mate. Nice work. And then again, somebody else put me to shame on these Ninth Moon Tree Sharks. I honestly looked at them and just thought, how the hell am I going to paint these? But yeah, you've done a cracking job as well, mate. Very nice. Look forward to seeing these on the table at some point in the future. And then there's another team here to the front as well. Looks like a mass brawl, that doesn't it? That looks like a game you want to be a part of. And these are is it the Sphere team? I think it is, isn't it? And again, mate, really, really nice, just nice clean finish on them. It's, you know, sometimes just you know, it's like it sounds stupid, but just putting the paint in the right places, like it just it looks effective. You know what I mean? Like rather than like you get such a nice finish just being neat, just like sort of taking your time and being neat. And you've done a really clean job of these, mate. Really, really like them. Love that yellow and blue mine. Really stands out. Nice work, mate. Nice work indeed. We got Frantic here as well. Excuse me. Another Trontech 29ers team. Let's just zoom a little bit there. Again, really, really clean, mate. Love the visor here. Let me just zoom into that a little bit and show that off. Love what you've done on the visor there with that little glow, mate. That looks really good. Even just little touches like the sort of the knee pads as well, just picking them out. The highlights on the tops of the helmet here as well. Love it, mate. Nice work. And here they are as well from a different angle. Love the edging on the base as well, mate. Just kind of just sets them off too. But yeah, look, I love that visor. just sneaking off the side there. Really nice work, Frantic. Thank you very much, mate. Mr. Dustin Dowsing sent me a lot of pictures here, but this one is the Ghosts picture. Although he did say technically he painted black and he's glossed these as well. So yeah, I did. They looked good, so I cut him some slack as well. So he's also got his Ghosts team there as well, so you can kind of see them in all of their glory. These ones especially are quite difficult to tell apart on the board. And then he's got his Vehement team here as well. Again, Dustin's a nice painter as well. He's done some nice work here. Really does pick them out nice and clean. I've got one of these Vehement team to paint up at some point. But yeah, look, love what you've done with these, mate, as well. Again, really, really clean, crisp work. Just taking your time, kind of getting it nice and neat. Love the highlighting on these shoulder pads. Almost looks like they're glowing as well. Really does bring them to life. Love these ones as well, kind of scattering around, and the downed one at the front there as well. Looks awesome. Bit of a group shot there as well from above. And the last one there as well. Love it. I didn't notice the numbers on them before as well. Love the numbers on the shoulders. On the backpack type things rather than the shoulders. Love that purple glow on the lens as well. Nice, mate. Love that work. We got Efren Chavez, who was a part of the Dreadball Fanatics page. Let's zoom in and see these again. Look, really, really nice. I really kind of sort of impressed by just how sort of good everybody's teams are. Really nice, clean paint jobs on these. Love them, love them. Love the downed one as well. I don't think I've seen that one before. Really nice, mate. Thank you very much for taking part in it. Peter Nicholas. Look at this. The boy can paint. Now he did send me some kind of like a painting before as well. So he proved that he did start them from scratch. They look fantastic, mate. You should not be giving yourself a hard time. Love the colours. It's got that kind of, is he called Zandu from Guardians of the Galaxy? The blue skin and the purple hair. I love that style, mate. The red and the yellow as well really do kind of complement each other. That is fantastic job, mate. I hope to see them on the table in front of me at some point in the future. Nice work, mate. Daniel Kennedy did a very nice picture here as well. We'll zoom in and show some of these off. He's took some very nice photographs, so it's worth taking the time to have a look at these. And again, I don't know if it's Renton's Rejects, this one, or a different name for the team. But these are the ones that come in the Dreadball Extreme box. But yeah, again, just really, really nice. Looks awesome. I love the eyes on that one as well. He's done a cracker. Let's just zoom in on the eyes again on that one. Look at that. There's no wrong with that, mate. Really, really nice. Love the attention to detail on that. We've got this guy as well with his eye patch. Looks like some kind of... It reminds me of... if anybody's familiar with Ice Age, the cartoon, there's a character played by Simon Pegg, and I forget what he's called, but he's got like a kind of like a leaf as an eye patch. That's what it reminds me of. This funny looking alien thing. I think it looks like some kind of like sort of like some kind of pig type thing with a single eye. Really nice. This is one of the little Z characters. Very, very nice. Some kind of sort of robot thing. As you can see, I'm well up on the universe of Dreadball and Dead Zone and stuff. Another one of the Z characters there as well. Love it. Yeah, even put me to shame with the eyes again there as well, mate. Look at that. I'm going to really zoom in. Look at the eyes. Steady hand, mate. That's what it is. Steady hand. And then this weird looking creature, that's like some kind of like tree or plant or something like that. Really nice. Fantastic work, Daniel. Really, really nice work. Jeff Burbridge, who we've got in the chat here tonight as well. This one was one of my favourites, Jeff. It's just, again, super, super clean. Love the coloured bases. Love the little arrows on the front there as well. And this is a team that you don't see very often, which is why it's kind of stood out to me as well. Really like it. Just really clean work, mate. Love it. Really like it. Awesome work. Love this kind of like little kind of like lights or like sort of on there as well. Let's zoom in and show them off as well. Love the effect that gives as well. Super work, Jeff. Now, if I remember right as well, Jeff and Andrew, if you don't read the Bread Doll blog, which is basically a Dreadball blog where they talk about Dreadball, the two of them did a bit of a challenge where they were kind of throwing some little insults at each other, and they used this painting challenge as a bit of a reason to get their teams painted, and that was part of them. So do check out. I think it like if you Google search Bread Doll blog, you'll find all that stuff. And here's Andrew's stuff. Talking of Andrew, yes, I remember these ones now as well. Really nice work again, mate, as well. Used to obviously enjoy your painting as well. Some fantastic work on these. Love the highlighting on it. Love the shading on the skin tones there as well, and just really, really nice colour choices as well. Awesome, mate. And I think there's a third picture where he sent me another one because I forgot to put the bases on. I love the character with the hat. I didn't see that character with the hat. Oh, there he is there. I didn't see him the first time there. It's just got so much sort of like character in these actual particular minis. I love those. I'm going to zoom into a few of these and show them off a little bit, get them a bit big, and we'll go down the line. It's like Usual Suspects. Really, the kind of the character on that of trying to catch the ball. But yeah, really, really nicely done, mate. Love the colour scheme. Love this kind of it's not white is not an easy colour, or bone colours is not an easy colour to pull off either. And love the little kind of glow to these as well. Nice work. And then obviously with bases as well, and the bases look really set them off. Fantastic work, sir. Fantastic work. And then our last one here is Mr. Scott Longworth, who I actually think was the first person to submit his stuff as well. So this was his test scheme that he did. And he said, I'm just going to use contrast paints, do them super fast. This was his test basically to see how they would come out. And as you can see, they came out really well. So he went on and painted up the entire team. And he did it, like I think, in one evening while he was sitting watching one of my live streams, which was even more sickening and impressive at the same time. But it just shows again what you can do, just being neat, putting the colour, getting a nice colour choice, putting the colours in the right place. I love that he's used the yellow bases as opposed to the blue ones. It really does make the colours stand out. Love that orange and blue together as well. Sci-fi, love it. But yeah, really nice work, Scott. He's got a few more pictures there as well. That one's a similar one. Whoops, and we'll go back there as well. And we can see this one in a bit more detail. Yes, really. It's just like, I mean, I'm sure he said, other than the metallic, this is all contrast paint. And yeah, it just shows what you can do, mate. It just shows what you can do. Nice work. Nice work indeed. So, that was everybody that took part in the Dreadball challenge. So thank you very, very much. Even those of you that didn't manage to complete it, thank you for at least giving it a try, for taking part. And yeah, absolutely fantastic to see so many of you completing it. I'll skip back over the chat here and have a little look. John saying about, yeah, Lucky Logan, that's what the guy was called as well. Yeah, thank you for that. Astevian Kalishi, that's what they were. John saying some wicked painting on display there. Yes, nice one, mate. Lord Maiden saying, yeah, red strikers, BlackJack's purple is guards. Nice one. Andrew saying, great classics represented there. Yeah, and the violet on the rejects, very fun. Yeah, I like the violet as well. Christian sharing the link there as well for Patreon. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We had a new Patreon today. I think the name is up on the screen there. Foible joined us today. So thank you very much, Foible, for joining the Patreon gang. James Brace saying, evening, sorry I'm late. Never late, mate. Precisely when you mean to arrive. Nice to see you. John saying, thanks for the stream being earlier than your usual time. Normally I'd be cooking dinner during the stream, trying to follow along. My Wednesday nights are always a little bit earlier, mate. They're always 8:30. And it's more just because when I'm doing painting, I need a bit more time to be able to kind of paint. And obviously I get tired the later it gets as well. So it just gives me an extra half an hour to paint normally. But as I'm not painting tonight, because I knew this would take up a big chunk of time. Like I've been streaming for an hour now, and I wouldn't have had time to pick up a brush yet. So it was hardly worth painting for like about sort of 30 minutes, an hour or something. Tasty Brain Drain saying, yes, some really nice work there. Lord Maiden says, 28 straight days of painting. That is commitment to the cause, that, mate. Absolute commitment. Yes. Mark was saying some really well painted minis. Shame I didn't want to break my don't buy new minis New Year resolution. Malifaux, on the other hand, I've had the whiskey golem waiting for me. I think I don't know if we'll do just Malifaux. I personally would quite like to, because I've got loads of Malifaux to paint. But I do want to include as many people as possible. But like I said before, being really specific. Even if it's like, what I might do is I might make it a Malifaux challenge with an alternative. If you don't want to paint Malifaux, or you don't have any Malifaux stuff, or you're not interested, here is the alternative challenge so that you can still take part. But I might make it sort of like a Malifaux one for a change. VG saying those evil yellow eyes are awesome. Yeah, there was some good eyes painted there as well. Andrew saying, yeah, look at those beautiful bots. Jeff saying, yeah, nice head swaps. There was some nice head swaps on some of those, wasn't there? John says, that hat you sculpted yourself was amazing. Was that a sculpted hat? Was that'll just show me. I didn't have a clue. It looked fantastic. I didn't even realise they were sculpted. Andrew was saying, yeah, can't take credit for the Alien Judah 1 heads. They're old resin casts from Ramshackle Games. There you go. That's why I hadn't seen them before. It looked completely sort of original to me, mate. Well done. Yoakum saying, awesome work, everyone. Yeah, nice to see everyone cranking on with stuff. John saying, the cloaks changing helped with the timing too. Yeah, the clock's changing. Yes. Tiberius is saying, I was too busy gawking at them gorgeous teams and forgot to say hi. Hello, Tiberius. How you doing, mate? Tony says, apologies for not taking part in the challenge. I was wanting to put the effort on Lord Maiden's mini swap. Never apologise for not taking part, mate. These challenges are there just to give folks something to kind of to focus on, especially in playing a lot of games. It's nice to have a reason to paint, and you had a reason to paint. You didn't need my encouragement, mate. So yeah, it's just nice that you're kind of part of the community and sort of encouraging others. So don't worry about not taking part in every single challenge, mate. Peter says, hi from me too. Sorry, I forgot with all the stress. Stuart Mercury, hello, mate. He said, a bit late at the party, just caught the end of the showcase, so we'll watch it back tomorrow. Yeah, I think I did it in two halves, mate. There's about 23 people took part, but some people, Lord Maiden and John Estelle, painted more than one team as well. So yeah, there's quite a few teams to have a look through, mate. I definitely recommend you go back and watch it. Andrew was saying those heads were collecting dust, so Andy's challenge was a nice kick in the butt. I'm glad you found a use for them, mate. You did a really good job of them. Peter says it's our loss. Tony's work always impresses. Yeah, he always does impress, and I'm sure we'll see him in there in some future challenges as well. No doubt, he's painting them. Definitely deserves to be shown off. So that's where we're up to with the painting challenges and stuff. So yeah, I'll put my thinking cap on. Maybe this thinking cap. just plugging the merch there a little bit there tonight as well. I had this cap on for the first time in a while. The sun was out this morning. I was sitting there with my laptop, kind of I had my last cup of coffee. Long story, I've run out of coffee, couldn't go to the shops. I had my last cup of coffee this morning, sitting with my laptop outside, sitting kind of trying to kind of see the screen in the sunshine. So I had my cap on today. So yes, I had that, repping the brand. Red Rose Wargaming, hello Anna, thank you very, very much for joining us, and thank you very much for the donation as well. It says, evening Andy and the BlackJack Arenos. It sounds like a really, really bad pub band, doesn't it? Andy and the BlackJack Arenos. Peter says, nice plug and nice cap. Christian sharing the link for them as well there. I do like a baseball cap, I'll be honest. Obviously having a full head of hair like I do, when the sun comes out, it gets a little bit intense. So I must admit, I do like a baseball cap. So it's nice to have a cap I can rep the merch with. Quality of them is fantastic. Not that I'm plugging my own merchandise, but yes, all stitched there as well. Very, very nicely detailed. So yeah, that's you can buy one for yourself for when the sun's out. John says, I always get a bit inspired seeing other painters work. There's not a lot of places online where they kind of show off kind of like community showcase stuff and that, because generally what happens is it's not that popular. Where I'm really fortunate, there's a hardcore of people come in every Wednesday night, who kind of come to the painting streams, come to the hobby hangouts, and it's nice to be able to kind of show off their stuff too as well. So if you folks want to come and see it, if you want to see your stuff on the stream, I'm more than happy to show it off. But yeah, it's awesome to kind of to see everybody taking part and joining in. Andrew, thank you very much as well, mate. I'm sure your name it'll ping up. There we go. Thank you very much for the donation. He says, long live Dreadball and well done, coaches. Yes, I would love to see some of these on the table as well. If anybody starts to play games again soon and uses any of the teams that they've painted tonight, please tag me in your pictures. If you post them on Facebook, or you're posting them in the Dreadball Fanatics, or you're posting it in my group, or you're putting them on Instagram, please do tag me in them. I would love to see them in action on the table. Where are we up to here? Andrew said, missed the whole main event. It'll be there to watch back, mate. Don't worry about that. Tony saying, oh heck yeah, I might get involved with the Malifaux one though. Yes. Andrew says, got to cover that bald spot. It's not a bald spot, mate. It's very thin, so I shave it off. but there is no bald spot. It's hairy all over, just not a lot of hair. That's the problem. James Bray says, full head of hair like I do. Citation needed. I'll have to find the pictures, mate. I'll have to find the pictures. Andy Smith says, I'll read. Nice to see you, mate. Radak says, I had my last cup of coffee on the 15th of January 2020. Somehow I am still alive and don't miss coffee. I love coffee, mate. Coffee is my drug of choice, if you like. I do like a few cups of coffee. But weirdly, I kind of had some like instant coffee. And I made a cup of coffee last week with it. It's like sort of Kenko barista stuff. And I made a cup of coffee with it last week. And I tasted it and it was like, my God, that is disgusting. And I thought it was due to me having COVID and stuff. I thought it had played with my taste buds. It tasted like the milk was off. I thought, and the milk wasn't off. The milk was fine. So I've made another cup of coffee yesterday, I think it was, using the same stuff. And I just made black coffee. Oh, it was Monday night when I was doing the live stream. I was flagging a bit, so I decided to make like a black coffee, and it was disgusting. Again, it was awful. So I threw it away. I could basically put it in the bin. I've got like a proper coffee machine and stuff with like coffee pods and stuff, and I made one of those this morning, and it tasted absolutely glorious again. It was really nice. But it was the last pod that I had, which is why I'd been trying to make coffee with the other stuff. So, with me still being in my lockdown, still being in my COVID restriction, and I couldn't leave the house. It was like, no, I've got no coffee. I've got one coffee today, and that's it. But yeah, I can go out the house again tomorrow now. So yeah, I'll be going and getting a drive-through coffee and probably a bacon sandwich just to kind of celebrate my freedom of not being locked down anymore. Tony says that bald spot is hardly noticeable. Do you know what, mate? It's a good job I don't take offence by this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure if you were calling into question my gender or my sexuality, it would be classed as bullying. But because it's a bald head, you're getting away with it. Barry says, if you need a band really bad, we got a really bad band. That's it. Andy and the BlackJack knows. John says, I'm in dire need of a haircut, getting some serious mullet action. That is one blessing of having this choice of hairstyle, is that actually through the lockdown, I haven't had to worry about not going to the hairdressers. My little boy, bless him, his hair is just like a crash helmet at the minute, and he refuses to let me cut it for him because he thinks he's going to get hair like mine. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hairdressers opening up so he can go and get his hair cut again. But yeah, poor little bugger looks like he's wearing a crash helmet. Marcus says, all I know is a bunch of stress is off knowing, and I have secured my I've secured my Curse City copy. So depending on when it ships, I can paint one for the next challenge, that or in AOS Night Goblin. Yeah, I'm glad folks are managing to kind of sort of strike deals with their local gaming stores and stuff and get them signed up. I'll be on 10 o'clock Saturday morning, pressing refresh, getting ready to try and pick mine up as well. John says there apparently as many hairs there, just very fine on the top. I'm not going to come and zoom in, but essentially I've kind of got a patch just here, which is just a bit kind of fine. I mean, you can still see there's hair there, like there's not a lot, but it's kind of, listen. See, you can't hear it. It's just a bit finer there, but it's a lot thicker around the back and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't want one of those haircuts where there's nothing at the front and loads around the back. So it all comes off. Blizzard says, coffee is life. It is for me, mate. It's definitely my drug of choice. Just Kev says, hey Andy, thanks again for your Curse City video this week. I've managed to reserve one at my friendly local gaming store, so very excited. I'm glad, mate. I'm glad you've managed to get one. James says, instant coffee isn't coffee. Unbashed coffee snob. I agree, mate. I'm not a big fan of instant coffee. It was the fact that I didn't have any coffee pods left for my coffee machine. My wife got me a fancy coffee machine. I've always had one for years, a coffee machine, but my wife got me a fancy one for my birthday last year. That does all the fancy kind of lattes and all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, I do kind of have normally have a nice selection of coffee pods. But I didn't realise I was down to my last one, and it was like, oh, how did that happen? And when I knew I only had one left, that's why I started to kind of dip into my emergency instant coffee. Yeah, but it was garbage. It was absolutely awful. Andy says, is it a comb over? It would be if I let it grow, mate. I'd be able to do the old Bobby Charlton, mate, and pull it from the back. That's for sure. A bit of a Trump or a Boris Johnson. I honestly don't understand that. If I had hair like Boris Johnson, because he's trying to he's covering over a bald spot. You can definitely see he just pulls it from everywhere else and kind of pulls it over the top. That's why it looks like he's been through a hedge backwards. I would just shave it off. Where are we up here? Oh God, that jumped ahead there a little bit. Where was that one? John Estel says, Rington's tea is awesome. The coffee tastes like bad bitter gravy. Do you know what it is? I mean, like ordinarily this kind of instant coffee stuff that I had in, like it's fine. It's a good alternative basically if I've run out of coffee pods or something. But it was as if I'd maybe left the lid off it or something like that. And like I couldn't smell any coffee in it. I couldn't taste any coffee. It was so bitter. It was awful. It was like it had gone off. It was weird. I don't know what it was. Peter says, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't drink coffee. John says, coffee is an essential for me since I was 17. Tastes sublime with tobacco. Do you know what, mate? I do like a cup of coffee with a cigar, I'll be honest. I do like a cup of coffee and a cigar. Lord Maiden says, what bald spot? Exactly, mate. What bald spot? Tabletop Rumble, hello, says, hey guys, nice to see you in. I hope you are well. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat tonight. Red Rose Wargaming says you need to come up with a metal band t-shirt. I need to get one designed. Andy in the BlackJack Arenas. Vijay says, time to walk to the train to get the plane to get to tonight's gig. Wow, mate, I didn't realise you were off so far. Safe travels, mate, and enjoy the job. Warwick Dog Age, nice to see you, mate. He says, the older you get, you realise when you start losing your hair, it's going to be just be time to give up the ghost and shave it up. Upside, you'll never get ready to go at a moment's notice. It's a funny one because I kind of like my hair used to be my thing when I was younger. I was a bit of a I love going for my haircuts and kind of having fancy hair and stuff. And I never really kind of remember it like sort of thinning. And what happened was I was on holiday and I had some photographs like sort of taken on holiday with the family and stuff. And essentially what happened was, as the flash went off on the camera, it basically kind of like showed up as if I was bald at the front because the hair was a lot thinner at the front. And I saw those photos and it was like, oh my God, is that what I look like? It doesn't look like that when I look in the mirror. Is that what it looks like? And then so I kind of like clung onto it for a little bit longer. And then I was going on holiday with Lou. Me and Lou were going to Las Vegas for a week and Miami for a week on a 2-week holiday. And I thought, you know what it is? I'm going to want to take some photographs while I'm there. I don't want to have to look at these photographs and think, oh my God, look at that hair. So I shaved it off because I thought if I have horrible pictures when I come back, I'll shave my hair. But the difference will be I'll have a tan, and when I shave my hair, I'll have a big white patch where I've shaved my hair off. So I shaved it off when we went on holiday, knowing I would get tanned and stuff like that, and it wouldn't be so bad anyway. And then I just never grew it back because once it's gone, you never grow it back, kind of thing. So yeah, mine was just like literally overnight. It was just like, yeah, time to take it off. So yeah, that was my choice. I think the difference, I think some people feel kind of a bit weird about shaving their hair. But living in the Northeast, there's not much of a stigma about having like a shaved head in the Northeast. Like where I live, like if you go to like local pubs, I think more blokes have a shaved head than they do have a full head of hair, to be honest. Andrew says, you're either bald or balding. One is a choice, the other is a condition. Make it a choice, gents. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. It reminds me of something. There was an old guy used to say to me when I was an apprentice electrician. There was an old guy used to say to me, he was there's only two types of people in the world, son. There's those that have got piles and of those that'll get piles. And I always remember that quote from him. You've either got piles or you'll get piles. Marcus says, idea for a new shirt or a mug, BlackJack Bacon Club. Oh, that would be a good mug. I'd quite the BlackJack Bacon Breakfast Bacon Club or something like that. I'd like that for a mug. We should do something like that. VG says, you'll be listening on the go. Safe journey, mate. Hope the job goes well as well. Where are we up to here? Busey says, I use a supermarket brand, Mercadona coffee pods, Colombian black, no milk, 2 a.m, bloody lovely. I did try some supermarket owned brand coffee pods, and I must admit when I went back to the Nespresso ones and compared them, there was a definite difference in taste. That the Nespresso ones were a lot nicer. But what I found now is I buy the Starbucks Nespresso ones because they sell them in the Sainsbury's next to where I live. So rather than having to order the Nespresso ones for delivery, I buy the Starbucks ones now, and I like those. They do a Colombian one. I think they do an Ethiopian roast, and they do like I think it's called like a daily roast or an everyday roast or something. I think that's tasty as well. Peter says you need a mullet comb over. I don't think I could ever have a mullet, mate. John says instant coffee is fine when you're camping, otherwise no thanks. Yeah, I'm a bit of a coffee snob as well, mate, to be fair. VG says, cheers all, I'll be lurking until I hit no mobile service. Andrew says, I figured Andy probably lost his sense of taste, but since he eats British food, he couldn't tell the difference. I think that's a common misconception that British food is tasteless. There are some really nice British foods. I think it's just one of those things where we assume all French food is beautiful, in the same way we think all American food is just ribs and fat. It's just like, I think there's some stereotypes that don't always ring true. There's some really nice British food. And John says, low blow, English cooking is hard to defend. You obviously haven't tasted my wife's cooking. It's very easy to defend how good it is. Tiberius says, oh, stop calling my mate a slaphead. Exactly, mate. John says, I'd buy a BlackJack Bacon Club t-shirt. Right, that's my next job. Then I need to get that done for next week's stream. Then we need to get a BlackJack Bacon Club or the BlackJack Breakfast Bacon Club or something like that. Andrew says, I got my realization from looking at the back of my head in a security camera at the grocery store. Andy says, another gaming chat. I love this. Like being in a pub, my hair vanished years ago. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I must admit, it took me a while to get used to it when I first shaved it off. Because going from like, I had quite a decent head of hair. For all it was getting a bit thin at the front, there was quite a lot of it. So when I shaved it off, like I didn't go gradually. Like it went right down to the wood from day one. So it was like it was a real shock to the system. And thankfully, my head's not a bad shape. I haven't got like a weird lump that comes off the side or something like that. I've got a relatively kind of like sort of dome-shaped head. I got away with it. Peter says, when I want posh coffee to treat myself, I buy instant from Waitrose. I do like, there's a coffee shop near me called Woods Coffee. This is not sponsored by Woods Coffee, but I must admit they do really nice coffee. Like, and I think it's from the Tynemouth Coffee Company, I think. And it's really nice kind of like ground coffee, and it is to me worth the extra to go out of my way to go and buy like a coffee from there. There's nothing better in the summer to kind of go down there early in the morning when it's quiet at the beach. Go down, get a bacon butty or a sausage butty, get a cup of coffee from there, and where their shop is, their cafe is, they've got seats that sit outside and overlook Tynemouth Priory over the beach and over the cliffs and stuff. And it's absolutely beautiful down there. It's like a nice little place to just go and kind of hang out early on a morning when it's pretty quiet. Right, where did this go? That jumped off my chat while I wasn't looking, did it? John says, I started losing my hair at about 19. I was trying to remember how old I was when I shaved mine. Must have been about 30... About 36, I think. 37, maybe. It was definitely before I was 40. I think it was about 30, maybe 37, 38, something like that. That might have been when I shaved it off. Andrew says, giant spot of no hair. Time for it to go. Yes, man, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I've always had a shaved head since I've been doing my YouTube stuff, so nobody's kind of noticed it from that respect. But I didn't start doing YouTube stuff till I was in my 40s. So I think I was coming up to my 40th birthday, I think, when I started my first YouTube video. Tasty Brain Drink says, yeah, I'd buy a BlackJack Bacon Club t-shirt. We need to get them done then, don't we? Marco says, are you sure it was Kimco and not Compost? It's stuff that I've bought in the past. It's one of the only instant coffees I normally drink, and it's not bad as far as instant coffee goes. But it was as if it had just completely dried out, or it had gone off, or like it would just... It didn't taste like coffee anymore. Here's a little known fact for you, actually. So, you know, if you get instant coffee in a jar or in like a kind of like one of those metal tubs with the foil lids on, before they seal them up, they actually spray a coffee smell, like a scent, into the coffee. So they kind of spray the smell of coffee into them and then seal them up, so that when you kind of burst through the top or you peel the lid off, you get this instant burst of coffee smell. The coffee doesn't smell like that at all. It is pure kind of like theatre, just to make you think, oh, that's beautiful. I love that coffee. It's so like kind of, it's so fake, and people don't realise that's what they do, but they do it. I know this because I used to kind of like design, you know, when you buy scented toilet rolls. Well, I used to obviously have to go and sort of like do the development work to kind of design the scents and stuff like that as well. And the scent in a toilet roll is in the cardboard tube in the middle. It doesn't come anywhere near the paper. You don't want any chemicals on paper that's going to touch your nether regions. So it's just in the little cardboard tube in the middle. But the company that I used to work with to create these scents told me that about the coffee, because they created the scent for the coffee. So there you go. Something you didn't know. John says, I was bald for a period due to chemotherapy, not going back to that. Besides, my skull has a weird shape. I tell you what, mate, I mean, it's great news that you obviously come out the other side of that as well. But I can imagine it's got bad connotations for you, mate. So yeah, I don't blame you. Andy says, hobby hooligans again. Tabletop Ramble says, for me, it's not the hair loss. I have issues with his growth. Ears, nose, back. Something's not right. I had this conversation with my little boy today. I had one like really wiry black hair in my eyebrow that I plucked out. And I kind of like plucked it out, and I was showing my little boy. I was going, look at that. It's like a piece of wire. And something I'd said about it's just when you get old, hair grows in places that hair never used to grow. I don't have any hair like on my back or anything like that, but I do get hairs in my ears, or hairs growing out my nose randomly. My wife's always plucking hairs out of my nose. John says that's words of wisdom for sure. You're not wrong, mate. James says, I got the new Nespresso thing with the different pods and discovered that you can't get third-party pods. That's because the what do you call it? It's because the patent hasn't run out yet, has it? It takes a little while for the patents to run out. Yes, I must admit, I find a lot of the third-party pods are definitely not as good for the Nespresso one I've got, and I've got the kind of like the older style pods rather than the big flat ones and stuff. Tony says, I took the view of I may as well go bald with grace and grow old disgracefully. I've got no intention of growing old, mate. I'm going to stay young. I might get physically older, but I don't intend to grow old, that's for sure. Peter says, get a transplant, mate. I couldn't afford it, mate. Have you seen how much they are? James says, this conversation is so middle class. It's just the coffee stuff. I am from a very working class background. My dad worked down a coal mine. My mum didn't work for a lot of time after I was born until I got older, and then she worked in a butcher's. So my mum worked in a butcher's, and my dad worked down a coal mine. There's nothing middle class about me personally. I might have grown up into middle class with the money I used to earn. I don't earn enough to be middle class anymore. James Bray says, Wizards mostly done. Pictures are in the Discord. Nice, mate. I'll check it out later on. John Cini's been clear now since 93. Fantastic news, mate. Fantastic. Peter says, British curry is quite tasty. It is, mate. It is. Andy's saying, coffee pods. How posh are you? I'm a bit of a coffee snob, mate. I tell you what, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to coffee, whiskey, and my cigars as well. Them's kind of like the three things I tend not to kind of compromise on. Those are the ones where I like what I like, and I tend to like, if it costs a little bit more, that's where I'll spend my money, kind of thing. But when it comes to most other things, I'm definitely not a snob on most things. Like, it doesn't matter when it comes to clothes, I'm not like into like sort of expensive branded clothes or anything like that, or fancy cars and stuff. But I am a bit of a snob when it comes to coffee, cigars, and whiskey, mate. That's my life. That's my life's kind of vices. Blizzard, Barry Cliver says, bangers and mash. Nothing wrong with bangers and mash, mate. Blizzard says, ribs and fat. I resemble that remark. I love America. I love coming to America on my holidays, and I love having like waffles and with bacon and maple syrup over the top. It's a luxury that I only ever have when I'm in America. I don't eat waffles and bacon and maple syrup at any other time. It's something I reserve for when I'm in the States. I absolutely love that for breakfast with a cup of coffee. So Tiberius says, weirdly, almost all Scottish food is spiced. Is it really, mate? I wonder why that is. John says, I never understood why you folks still eat mushy peas. The war's over. You can get fresh vegetables. I hate mushy peas, mate. I have never liked that horrible kind of processed peas thing. I love garden peas, like fresh peas, but I hate like processed peas or mushy peas. Bren B, hello mate. He says, remember the little bloke from the Benny Hill show? I do remember that little bloke from the Benny Hill show. I hope you're not assuming that I look like him. Busey says, I used to have a coffee filter mug when I worked in an office. Good thing that was. Yeah, I must admit, I didn't... when I used to work in an office, we had a pretty good coffee machine, actually, to be honest. But when I used to go to the factory to kind of do any like development work, it was horrible, kind of like sort of like coffee vending machines. They were awful. I used to just drink cans of Coke on those days. Marcus says, I don't think British cooking is bad. It's just not my mother's cooking. Kath Smith says, mushy peas are an essential with fish and chips. I honestly can't stand mushy peas. I would never have them with fish and chips. I love fish and chips, but I certainly wouldn't have mushy peas with them. My wife likes mushy peas, but I just don't like the taste. Andy says, when I want posh coffee, I visit my mates. Busey says, I had the plunger built in the mug. Oh, like a proper cafetiere, one of those ones. VG says, best meat pie I've ever had was in the Red Lion in Avebury. I'll defend there is good English food. There is good English food, mate. And that's saying something. Aussies know meat pies. Marcos says, as Italian, Nespresso Ristretto is excellent. I do like Ristretto, mate. I do like some of the kind of like their stronger coffees. Nespresso coffee is, I mean, it's not cheap. It's certainly cheaper than going buying Starbucks, for example. But it is one of life's small luxuries. If somebody said to me, what's the last luxury that you'll give up? Nice coffee, I think, would be my last luxury. Barry says, I'm thinking of Tarantino's coffee rant from Pulp Fiction. Yeah, I won't go that far, mate. Warwick says, a good friend of mine had lost all the top of his head of hair before finishing high school. I think there's quite a few people like lose their hair quite young. It must be quite sort of quite tough. It's hard enough going through kind of like school years and stuff, being the same as everybody else or trying to fit in with everybody else without something like that giving you a bit of like a hard time. So yeah, I do feel for lads that kind of go through that at a younger age. Busey says Blue Mountain Jamaican. I've heard of Blue Mountain Jamaican. I must admit, I don't think I've ever tasted it, but I have heard of it. Tasty Brain says ribs and fat. I would love to. I've never been to like Texas or anything like that. I would love to go to like a proper like sort of like south, sort of deep south, proper barbecue pit somewhere, like, you know, where they do proper ribs and proper steaks. I'd love to do that. I've been to like sort of barbecue sort of restaurants and stuff, but the kind of chain type things. Even when I've been to the States, I've been to like kind of they're kind of like chain stuff. It's not like some kind of like hut in the middle of nowhere. You sometimes see these on these like on these kind of man versus food type places where it's like a hut in the middle of nowhere that has queues for like 3 hours because the food is so good there, kind of thing. I'd love to go to a place like that over in the States. John says, I have come to the realization I could live off pork chops. Pork's a little bit chewy for me, you know. Maybe it's just the chops we get. They're a little bit kind of chewy, but I guess we don't cook pork. If we had like pork with like a dinner type thing, we don't cook it like you would do, like with a barbecue, like in sauce and stuff like that. But yeah, I find pork quite chewy. I much prefer steak. I'm a massive steak fan. Mark says, I'm a tea drinker. Love the smell of coffee, but can't stand the taste. My wife can't stand the smell or the taste of it. So if I'm having a cup of coffee, she generally doesn't sit beside me. Pusey says, just make sure you only smell scented toilet roll before and not after. Yeah, it's not scented for the same thing, mate, afterwards. Where was that one? Where's that just jumped off? Where was this one? I can catch it. Peter saying, you're telling me I need to wipe with the cardboard roll to get rid of the smell? Yeah. The idea is, mate, if the chemical smell, if the chemical fragrance was on the tissue, it would irritate the skin. So you don't put it on there. You put it inside the core. And the idea is basically it scents the room. The paper doesn't smell at all. Andy Smith says, doesn't everyone have a hairy back? Apparently not, mate. Marcus says, not a fan of ribs, not enough meat on them. Yeah, I do like a good steak, mate. Andy says, old is inevitable, growing up is optional. I'll drink to that, mate. Here. Barry says, hair grows in places where hair didn't used to grow. Indeed, yeah. Who knew that? Nobody takes you to one side when you're a young lad and said, look, there's something that you need to know, right? This is going to happen when you get older, and we don't know when it's going to happen, but one day you'll just notice. You're going to have hair growing out of your ears. You're going to have hair growing out of your nose. Your eyebrows are just going to have a life of their own. But don't worry about it. It's completely normal. Nobody tells you that. Peter says, Andy, the transplant remark was in response to a comment about the hair growing from the nose. Oh, is that what it was? Peter said, hairy back. I'm like, no, man, the hairy never comes back. Busey says, posh coffee, cigars and whiskey, 25 pence French lagers. What can I say, mate? I told you I'm a man of simple tastes. Some things I will pay extra for. Other things I'm quite happy just to get the bog standard. John says, used to have to do platters of food for the darts team in the pub. All deep fried stuff, including chips mostly. But I was surprised they wanted bread for chip butties, which was new to me. Oh, chip butties, mate. It's funny when you do kind of like buffet stuff in the UK, it always tends to be a bit beige. It's always like pies, sausage rolls, quiches, sandwiches. Like, it's all a bit brown, a bit beige. Like, it's one thing I definitely kind of don't really enjoy from a UK food perspective. But there are some beautiful UK foods. Andy said no mushy peas it is. Connor says, I love Marafat peas. Oh, give me garden peas, sweet garden peas any day, but not other stuff. VG says, fried chicken and waffles was a revelation on my first trip to the US, but yeah, I'll save it for over there. If I ate it at home, I'd be the size of a house. Yes, mate. That was what was the other thing as well I used to love? Oh, what they called again? Oh, I can picture them now. Oh, I used to buy them if I was in Universal Studios. Oh, I forget what they're called. They're like donut type things with like kind of like sort of. Oh, I can picture the name. I can picture them, and I can't think what they are now. It'll come back to me in a bit. I can't even describe them. They're like a donut type thing, but not a donut. Like they're obviously not with a hole in the middle like we would have a donut in the UK. I forget the name. You normally get them in like a box of 6. They've got like a dusting of like kind of ice and sugar on them and stuff. Somebody will remember what I'm talking about. Oh, what are they called? Oh, it'll come back to me. I love those as well anyway. John says, chalky, no thanks, you're welcome to them. I wonder what we're talking about, chalky stuff. Christian saying you can pick up your OG BlackJack Legacy t-shirts and hoodies. Thank you very much, mate. You can get t-shirts like this as well. Cass says we had a Chipotle chunky beef chili for tea, to be fair. No mushy peas. What did I have for my tea? I had absolutely beautiful jacket potatoes for my tea with a bit of tuna, a little bit of cheese and some coleslaw. Very nice it was too. Rishi says, BlackJack, Bolden and Bacon chat. Anything that begins with B. We do a bit of beer. We do a bit of ball chat. Bacon. What else can we talk about? We talk about baseball. If anybody wants to talk about baseball, basketball. Peter says, even as a southerner, I do like chips, mushy peas and gravy. Yeah, not mushy peas. Gravy. I do like a little bit of gravy on my pie and chips and stuff. John says, hot topic, avoid the non-dairy coffee creamer. It's made mostly of cellulose and accumulates in your digestive tract. I never use coffee creamer, mate. I only ever use milk in my coffee. I would never use like a creamer or any kind of like milk substitute. Tiberius says, I'm a mocha pot guy. Handy when that your grounds end up near enough dry and spent so you can use them basin. So you like to do it that way, mate. Yeah, I used to have like a proper coffee grinder and a proper sort of coffee machine, but it was too much work. I used to get up early for work and just be like want a good cup of coffee, so that was why I ended up getting coffee pods and stuff. And I must admit that they do make a good coffee. And he says, avoid worrying about hair loss. Join up, get shaved, no worries. That's it. Just embrace it. John said, that's why I got married at 21. I had to make sure before I lost my hair completely. Some women find bald men very attractive, mate. Don't you worry about that. Marcus says, we barbecue at my house 2 or 3 times a month. I would love to barbecue 2 or 3 times a month. I'd love to barbecue 2 or 3 times a week. But the weather here in the northeast of England just is so, like, it's so cold. You don't feel like kind of stand outside barbecuing. But yeah, when we do get the weather, I do love a good barbecue. Kath says, stepdaughter's wondering why we're discussing coffee and baldness on a gaming live chat. I ask myself the same question, Kath. I've got no idea how we end up down these side streets. Busey says, I like my bacon bald, not too keen on hairs on bacon or pork. Ed says, I'm with you on good coffee being the last luxury to go. Yeah, I'd give up most other things, I think, before I gave up nice coffee. It's the small luxury that I think even if I really didn't have much money and I was kind of like having a nice coffee would be my last kind of bastion of like I'm clinging on to this as much as I can. I'd let pretty much anything else go, I think, before that. James says a place near Austin, Texas called the Salt Lick was barbecue heaven. I can't remember what it was on. I remember seeing it on this particular show, and it was this kind of like place out in the middle of nowhere, and it looked like a corrugated metal shed. Like it looked the kind of place that you would think like had cows in it or it was going to fall down. It looked rough as anything. And this show was basically about this place and this woman that had worked there for like 20 or 30 years or something like that. And I think she might have been like in her 60s or it might have been in her 70s. And every day she got up at the crack of dawn and went to this place and got the fires fired up and put the ribs on to smoke and kind of cooked all the brisket and all this kind of stuff. And people would come from miles and miles around and just queue up to kind of get like a beef sandwich or like kind of get some brisket or something. It looked absolutely beautiful, this food, and the fact that there was queues, like people were waiting for hours, like 2 or 3 hours to get served and stuff. It was just like non-stop. The fact that there were people like willing to wait that long for food tells me it must be good. Yeah, I would love to try something like that. Johnson, barbecue is sublime, grilled meat is the best. I would love to basically have the weather that we could barbecue more often. I could see me like enjoying barbecuing as like a bit of a hobby. You know, when people you get like all the different flavoured like smoked wood chips and stuff and the different kind of glazes and slow roast and stuff. I would love to kind of have that as a bit of a hobby if the weather was ever good enough to kind of to have that kind of level of commitment to barbecuing. Vijay says best chicken and waffles is Sweet Chick Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn. I think when I was in New York, I basically just I think I was eating pretty much fast food. I did go to a really nice restaurant one night where I had a fantastic meal many years ago. But yeah, I think the first time I ever went to America was to New York, and it was kind of like I think it was, I was just in awe of being in New York, because it was like I'd never been to America before. It was like seeing like all these huge buildings. It was like being on, like seeing a TV set, like going for the first time. And I think I just got caught up in eating deli sandwiches and just eating burgers, I think. Barry says we have some good barbecue in Chicago. Charlie Robinson's Ribs on the border of Chicago and Oak Park, Illinois. Oh, brother, I tell you what, Barry, mate, I'm looking forward to getting back to getting to Adepticon next year, mate, and coming and trying out some of that Chicago food. Ed says good sausage rolls are an art form. Yeah, but bad sausage rolls are generally what you get. That's the problem. They're generally too much pastry or not enough sausage meat, or a bit like bland and a bit tasteless. John said, I used to work at a place that sold these amazing T-bone steaks. I'd be grilling them 30 to 40 at a time. They were awesome. Oh, man, I tell you what, T-bone steaks. I remember going to a restaurant in Florida. It was one of the first times I ever went there. And they basically had this, like, a big board that just had, like, all the different types of steaks that they did. And, like, some of the big tomahawk steaks or the big sort of ribeyes and stuff. Like, we don't get steaks like that, this size in the UK, because nobody would ever buy them. They'd be too expensive. But some of the size of some of those steaks were unbelievable. Wargamer Ape, hello there. Said, my pops would say he didn't lose his hair. They just packed up and moved. Somebody used to tell me it's not a bald head. It's a solar panel for a sex machine. That's what it is. VG says, hot chip sandwiches are big in my house, especially with crusty bread. Yeah, nice bread, mind. Nice bread's a nice luxury as well. No, they weren't bagels. I mean, I can't remember what they're called. I'm trying to remember what they were now. It's like a brand thing, like of this place that makes these things. I tell you what, I'm going to have to try and Google it now. I'm going to have to try and Google it and see if I can remember what they're called. Because I won't. Oh, I'll have to type in the right computer. If I type in Universal Studios map, I wonder if I'll be able to see what the stall's called, because I remember it's in Islands of Adventure. I remember exactly where the little stall was, and I wonder if it's on the map. Let's have a look and see if I can find it. Here we go. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's not very big. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. And I wonder if I'll be able to tell you what it's called. Because I can taste them now. I can taste them, but I can't think what they're called. What's that? The name is killing me now. As soon as I see it, it'll jump straight out at me. Come on, remember what they're called. Oh. No, I can't remember, and I can't find it. They're like a dessert type thing, like as opposed to like a oh man. No, the name will come to me at some point. I'll remember in a bit. I forgot what we were talking about it, to be honest. Marcus says, yeah, it's weird. After I turn 30, I get one eyebrow hair that grows over an inch and it curls and looks like Sanchez's eyebrow from One Piece. If I pluck it, it grows the other side. Mark was saying, are you saying that you don't use the cardboard cylinder in the middle of the roll as well? I know, just disgraceful, isn't it? Waste. Tony says, the Great British Roast Dinner is something that people come from all over the world to try. Yeah, it's funny. I think people think we just eat roast beef all the time, I think, and gravy. Marcus is saying he's just finishing his resin model photo in the Discord later. Nice one. VG says corned beef and pickle bagel from Brick Lane. I'm not a big fan of pickle, I must admit. People have a bit of chat there. Where's this? Let's all jump ahead there. Where are we going? James is saying black coffee is the only way. I do like black coffee, mate. I'll be honest. I do like sort of like an espresso on a morning or something like that, just to kind of kickstart my day. Andy says, all women find bald looks attractive. Yeah, some of them just don't admit it. That's what it is. Peter says, strange, I started getting grey when I got married. Marco saying, churros. No, it's not churros, mate. I really wish I could. Oh, the name is on the tip of my tongue. What are they called? Oh, this is going to absolutely kill. I'm going to search on my phone while we're sitting chatting. And I can't remember for the life of me what they call. Oh, I can picture I can picture where the stall is. Oh, it's gonna kill me until I can find it. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it here. Cinnabons. That's what they're called. I've remembered now. Cinnabons, like cinnamon buns. But Cinnabon is the brand. I absolutely love Cinnabon. They're full of calories, absolutely packed to the rafter with calories. But by God, I love them as well. There you go. Their names, people might not, but yeah, like a cinnamon bun type thing with like icing on and stuff. They're so nice. Lord Maiden says, BlackJack's barbecued bacon batties. Marcus is saying, don't forget to drop a like. How we're doing? We got like 63 people in, 41 likes. Come on, folks. I'm sure some of you can hit the like button, can't you? Peter says, game and chat live really is the doorway to the rabbit hole. Yeah, this is what happens when I'm not painting. I need just random stuff to chat about. That's why I like these Wednesdays. These Wednesdays are kind of like the hardcore gang hanging out. You know that the chat's not going to be that much gaming topic. Well, we'll chat about gaming at some point, but it's just it's like folks hanging out. The idea is you kind of sit. It's a meeting place to get together, sit and paint some of your models. Normally, I'm sitting painting some of my models, and we're just chatting. We're just hanging out. We're just shooting the breeze, talking about random stuff. Nothing wrong with that. John says, we're barbecuing on Monday, no matter what snow, it's happening. I tell you what, mate, I want to see pictures. If it's, I know it is forecast for snow on Monday, so if you're barbecuing in the snow, mate, I want pictures of that. Andy's saying, oh no, Kath Smith is on the whiskey. Go on, Kath, you do it. I had a couple of cheeky bourbons last night, I must admit. We sat outside, as I said before, we sat outside with the fire pit on, trying to make the most of it while we had a couple of nice days. I had a bottle of beer. And then after I'd had a bottle of beer, it was like, yeah, I could definitely have a cheeky whiskey now, like so. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of running a bit low on the whiskey at the minute. I need to do a bit of a shopping trip, I think. These are the side quests. You're not wrong, mate. James Bray says, in the first lockdown, I got myself a crazy too expensive barbecue. My plan for this year is to master my own barbecue sauce. I'll tell you what, mate, you can't beat a good barbecue. You can't beat a good barbecue. Where are we at here? Something just flashed up on my screen there. Let's have a look. Peter Cooman, thank you very much, mate. He says, get yourself an extra coffee tomorrow to compensate your shortage today. Thank you so much for the donation, mate. There it is. I will do. Thank you very much, mate. I will definitely treat myself to a large coffee. I normally don't get a large one. Everyone's saying, no, where we're catching up to again now. Connor says, my work has these massive coffee dispensers. They're just one rule: do not fill your cup with boiling water before using. There is one email a week complaining about blocked dispensers. You know, it was Cinnabon was the thing I was trying to remember, folks. People are asking me if it's still that one. Warwick says, Texas barbecue doesn't use vinegar as a base for the sauce and is smoked. The barbecue they brag about in the central US tends to have more vinegar as an ingredient. I've found that, mate. A lot of barbecue sauces tend to be a bit vinegary. I'm going to share with you something. I don't know if I've ever shared this before. This is a bit of a weird thing that I have. That vinegar makes me sweat. So even the thought of vinegar, I'm going to go bright red now just talking about it. Even the thought of vinegar makes me sweat. So if I smell like salt and vinegar crisps, if I see my little boy putting vinegar on his chips, if I walk past like Burger King and there's a bit of a strong vinegary smell, if I have ketchup, anything with vinegar makes me sort of like just instantly sweat. I just have to think about it. I don't even have to touch it. I don't even have to smell it. It's psychological, I'm sure. But anything to do with vinegar just makes me sweat. And I don't know why. It has done my entire life. I've got no idea why. It's coming through now just while I'm thinking about it. I've got no idea why. But I've noticed that with a lot of barbecue sauces, there's high vinegar in them. So yeah, I think I'd prefer to try something more smoky. John said, I barbecue most of the year, no matter what the weather. I've cooked in snowstorms and torrential downpours. You must be more committed than I am, mate, that's for sure. Stu says, a mate of mine barbecues a couple of times a week, rain or shine. He just has it set under a canopy. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to get like a little canopy to put the barbecue under. We've got a nice barbecue, but I must admit it's out in all weathers kind of thing. There isn't a canopy for it. I had been thinking at one point about getting like a kind of like a what they called like a summer house thing built out in the garden, so I could work in it. Like that would be my workplace where I sit and paint and kind of and record my videos and stuff like that. And I had thought about getting a summer house with like a bit of a canopy on the side of it so we could put the barbecue underneath, but I don't know. Who knows? Excuse me. Cat saying food and beverages are an essential part of the gaming experience. Exactly. James says, I've used vinegar in my sauce, but I've also messed around using soy sauce. I'll report back as I experiment more. Tony says, when we move into our new house, we're getting a smoker. Cannot wait. Tony, I'm coming for holidays, mate. That's for sure. Once you master your smoker, mate, I'm coming for holidays. John says, bases and glazes are not strictly necessary, but definitely add flavour. Depends on what you're grilling. Yeah, it gives an extra, like a dimension to it, doesn't it? Warwick says, oh, you mean a cronut? I don't know what a cronut is. Crescent roll and donut combination. I've never heard of that, mate. Yeah, Cinnabons are around. They're not like crescent shaped, I don't think. James is saying, a cannoli. No, not a cannoli, mate, but I've had cannolis before. Food Quest. I'm glad I found out what it was. Kath says, my first crush as a teenager was a baldy Captain Picard. He also had fabulous legs. James says, Twinkies are the worst. The cream in them feels like it burns my mouth. I don't think I've ever had a Twinkie, mate. James says, geez, this is more off topic than most streams, and that's saying something. Yeah, I had to remember what it was, mate. Krispy Kremes. No, it wasn't Krispy Kremes, mate, but I do like a Krispy Kreme donut. James says, BlackJack clips. Loads of nonsense about coffee and food. There'll be no clips video for this one, mate. I can't see this one getting many views in the future. Ed says, espresso, then a 6-mile run. Perfect way to start a day. I don't disagree, mate. I used to always have a shot of coffee before I went for a run. Andy says, I'm off to put Star Trek gear on with Cat Smith. Dunkin' Donuts, Twinkies, Ding Dongs. Oh no. Ed says there's a great little Cinnabon shop in Cambridge City Centre. I don't want to eat them in the UK. I do not want to think I can get them in the UK because I will be like a house end by the end of the month. So yeah, it's something that I'll only have when I go to Florida on holiday. I won't eat them anywhere else because otherwise I would just be like a balloon, mate. So yeah, there are certain things I only eat as holiday treats. And I don't want that memory of sitting out in the sunshine, like looking across the lake, like at Universal Studios. I don't want that memory taken away by sitting in like the chucking it down rain in a shopping centre in the UK, stuffing my face with these like 2,000 calorie buns. John says, I fell in love with Jane Seymour from Battlestar Galactica when I was a youngster. My childhood crush, my was definitely was Wendy James from Transvision Vamp. She was my childhood crush. Blizzard saying we have a Cinnabon store here as well. There you go, mate. Oh, you all know it now. None of you could remember it before. Tony said, I'm going to have to try and prove that I did something mini related. I know. I wish I had something mini related just to touch, just to say, oh yeah, I did do something on the stream. Ed says, and done. 27 minis brought this month. 27 painted. Keep my 2021 goal. Nice one, mate. Peter, thank you for the donation. I've just got back to that part of the chat. Busey saying, check Amazon for resin. Just got 1,000 grams of Elegoo. Which one did you get, mate? Was it the ABS light? Oh, the ABS light. I'll have to check. I will check, mate, because I am running short, actually. Peter says he's just won more stuff on eBay. Timothy Arlecon, nice to see you, Tim, mate. says, who's your favourite hero from Curse City? Do you plan on playing solo with a few friends? I intend to play solo initially, mate. We still can't meet up in the UK with friends at the minute. And if I do manage to get my hands on it, I'll get my hands on it before we can meet up. And the weather isn't looking fantastic for outdoor gaming at the moment. So yeah, I will be playing it solo, mate. My favourite hero at the minute is, I forget what he's called. Is it the Van Alten or whatever he's called? Let me, I'll tell you what I'll do. In fact, I will bring up a picture of him and then I can show you which one I mean. Let's find the website. It is this fella. This one, mate. This one is my favourite of the heroes at the moment. Glaruio Van Elten III. The brash young duelist is the last surviving member of the once proud Van Elten dynasty. His these three sort of bloodborns are his cousins. And I think that's quite a cool part of the story. So yes, I do like Yeltsin Derek, I must admit, but this one's my favourite. That's the one I'm looking forward to playing. Thank you for getting us back on topic a little bit as well. Busey saying last time I paid 40. I think I paid like £36. I think it was for the only bottle of resin I've bought. So if it's cheap, mate, yeah, I could do with picking some up. John saying, I've only done 17 models thus far, but I have 20 in various stages. My goal for the year is to complete at least 100. I've not kept a track of what I've painted, but I'm definitely painting more this year than I ever have in any previous year. Or I'm certainly on track to. VG says, I got heavily into homebrew and jerky making a couple of years back. It was great until I got my first case of gout. Now I just do the odd batch of jerky. I don't think I've ever tasted jerky, mate. So I've got no idea how you even make that stuff. I've still got a homebrew kit that my wife bought me that I've never got round to even starting to make a homebrew. Maybe I should do that at some point and get ready for the summer. Christian sharing the link for Amazon. Thank you very much, mate. If you're shopping on Amazon and you click on the link, you pay exactly the same price. I make a small commission. What I would say as well is if anybody wants to get a trial of Amazon Prime, you can get a free trial, and if you do it through my link, there is an increased kind of commission for me for the next month. So if you are thinking of doing the Amazon Prime trial and you want to do it through my affiliate link, that would really help me out. But by all means, don't do it if you don't want one. Only if you're thinking of doing one anyway. John Ashley Smith says, I don't know what this weekend's weather's supposed to be like, but it's Easter, so it'll likely be cold and miserable. Yeah, well, if you think today was like the nicest day we've had in quite some time, the weather for tomorrow, for example, I'll tell you the weather report for here in Newcastle. It's going to be 6 degrees tomorrow with a low of 1. And then on Monday, it is forecast to snow. There you go. I don't know if I'll be able to even show you. Look at that. Let's see if it focuses. That's how bad it looks. That's what the weather looks in my part of the world. Absolutely disgusting. So yeah, I think barbecues might not be on my menu anytime soon. Tony says, salt and vinegar crisps make the top of my head sweat. Thought I was the only one. Yeah, it's the top of my head. Honestly, it pours out of me like an absolute fountain. Yes, mate. You're not alone in it, mate. Peter says this weekend will be chocolatey. John Kellogg, hello mate. He said smoked some burgers the other day. I'd probably smoke something for Easter too. Waiting on the wife to tell me what. James says that vinegar thing is weird, mate, but then my gums hurt whenever anyone says stickle bricks. I think it's from me chewing them when I was little. Honestly, it's Christian saying I dislike vinegar as well. The smell and the taste. I'm okay with pickled onions and gherkins. Honestly, even just the thought of it, it's a psychological thing. I don't even have to smell them. They don't even have to be in the same room. I can look at a picture of a bottle of vinegar and I get the same effect. I don't know why it happens, but it just always has. Warwick says, people in the US tend to get really angry about their region's barbecues. It really depends on what you started eating first as to what you're going to prefer. Oh, well, I want to taste it all, mate, that's for sure. Johnson, vinegar makes me sweat too. It's alarming to see me eat chicken wings. Yeah, I mean, I don't put vinegar on food and stuff. I don't put salt on food. But I do like, I like pickled onions, for example. and I like barbecue sauces and stuff like that. So it's not like I avoid eating stuff with it in. I just kind of like, I tend to avoid it. Like if I'm out for a meal somewhere, like if I'm out with my wife, like I would try and avoid anything too vinegary. The last thing I want is to be sitting in a nice restaurant with like sweat pouring down my face and having to get like kind of like napkins and like dabbing my head as if I'm kind of going to pass out or something like that. It's all right sitting in the house. It's all right with friends. It's one thing when you're out in kind of like polite company somewhere. Marcus saying vinegar phobia. Yeah, I don't know what it is, mate. Tiny War Games, good evening to you, mate. How you doing? John Estel says, we call crescent rolls croissants, wouldn't we? I do fancy a cronut. Crescent rolls, who's not? I don't know where that's come from. Crescent rolls, but Cinnabons, the cinnamon buns. That's what I was talking about. I don't know if it's getting crossed their wires there. Camo says, hello from Oz. Is that red cordial in the mug? It is. It's called summer fruits, mate. Summer fruits cordial with a bit of water in it. So yes, that's what it is, mate. Yeah, it's just juice, no fancy alcohol, that's for sure. Where are we up to here? Peter says, nice with cheese, me things. I don't know what we're talking about now. John said, I put vinegar in my baked beans, French Canadian style, a little salt too. I never put salt on anything, and I never put vinegar on anything. I don't really like if people put salt in the cooking, I must be able to really taste the salt like really like strongly. Like if somebody was making like baking stuff, and they put salt into the food, I can taste it straight away because I don't put salt on anything. Peter says, so now after a bunch of people subscribing thinking this is BlackJack channel, we're going to be getting a lot of people think this is the cooking channel. Yeah, let's see how many subscribers I've lost by the end of this stream. Peter says the subs are going to go crazy in the next few days. Yeah, they're going to go down, mate. Andy Smith says, was Wendy James on Bitter Grove? She wasn't, mate. She was in a band called Transvision Vamp, and I absolutely thought she was amazing when I was younger. In fact, I will Google her and so I can tell you who she was. Here we go. There was an official site of. Let me see if I can find a younger picture of her rather than one of how she looks now. There we go. Yeah, fine. So let me get rid of that was Transvision Vamp, a band of from the 80s or something, and that was Wendy James. She was my childhood crush. So there you go. I'm sure there would be more flattering pictures of her as well, but yes, that was her. I've no idea why. Yes. Where are we up to? Krispy Kreme donuts leave a greasy film in your mouth. Too much shortening. I think I've only had Krispy Kreme donuts once or twice. I don't know if they taste the same in the UK as they do in the States. Marcus says, my childhood crush would have been Jennifer Connelly. I was just talking about her the other day, actually, because she's in Snowpiercer, if you've seen that on Netflix. Or Amazon, it might be on. One of the two. Snowpiercer is a good show if you want to watch it. The second season's just finished. But she was in Labyrinth, wasn't she? And that's why I was talking about her. Johnson, I think his name is pronounced Glaurio. I don't know why I was struggling to actually see it. Andy Smith says, my childhood crush was Cat Smith, or should I say Diana Troy? You absolute smooth talker, Andy Smith. Tony says, my childhood crush was Sally James from Tiz Was. I almost said Sally James, but I meant Wendy James, but for some reason I almost said Sally James. Peter said he's just finished up to 236 this year. That is some going, that, mate. Scott says, my boyhood crush was Annabelle from Bow Wow Wow. My God, I think we're all of a similar era here, mate. John Ashley says, I have a bus conductor, a bus under construction for my slime team in Gaslands. Gonna be sick. Oh, I can't wait to see that, mate. Ghost Winters, hello, mate. Says, supposed to snow early next week here in Northeast. Yeah, classic Northeast weather. Hello, by the way, from the Northeast. I kind of believe we could have I was literally lying we've got like some like kind of like sort of sun lounges outside in the garden. I was lying on a lounger this morning with my cap like this over my face, just sitting chilling while my little boy was sitting playing next to me. I was sitting like that, like not 12 hours ago this morning, and it's going to snow in a few days. How on earth do we get weather like that where we live? Tony says, I have 2 childhood crushes, Joanna Lumley as Purdy in The Avengers and Elizabeth Sladen in Doctor Who. I never watched Doctor Who, mate, when I was a kid. There's another claim. I said the other day I'd never seen an episode of Star Trek. I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who either. I'm aware of it because I'm kind of like immersed in the culture around it, but I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who. Although I could name you like loads of doctors, like Sylvester McCoy and kind of, you know, all the different people, Peter Davis and all the people who've been doctors over the years. But I think I'm just aware of it. I've just never seen an episode of it. Peter said, I'm not really that old, but my first crush was Joan of Arc. Casper says, bad weather means hobbying and food. Factory shut for Easter week. Happy days. It's just a shame. I mean, we've been locked up for the last 10 days with having COVID. And now we can actually start to see people outdoors. And now it's going to snow for a week. So we can't see people. It's really like frustrating. Where was that one? Tiberius says, John Smith's bitter gives me toothache, even seeing it in a glass. Isn't it funny? Like these weird things. John Ashley says, swell weather, man. We had 17 degrees yesterday. Oh, yeah. Francesca Gonshaw from Aloha Aloha. I'll have to find out who she is, mate. I don't know who Francesca Gonshaw was. John says, sweating away in your fine clothes, never a good look. It's not, mate, is it? Especially if you've got like a nice white shirt on or something. Or even worse, when you've got one of those like light grey T-shirts on. You just get the big sweat patches. It's never a good look, is it? Blizzard says, the texture of a croissant and a crescent roll are completely different, though. Yeah, a croissant or a croissant if you're from America. There you go. Peter says, that's ageist. Marcus says, yeah, they look very 80s. They definitely were, mate. John says, I love the hot, humid weather and listening to people complain about it. I really wish we had more of it to complain about, if I'm honest, mate. Scott says, Wendy James was influenced by Joe Strummer of The Clash and drank in the same pub. I like the Transvision Vamp music, to be fair. Like, Baby I Don't Care is one of my all-time favourite 80s songs. James says, we just finished Snowpiercer, better than it has a right to be. I really enjoyed the first season, and me and my wife have intentionally waited for all episodes of season 2 to be finished before we're going to go back and start it at the start now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing season 2. John says, I'm a saltaholic. I put it on just about everything. Honestly, I can't get away with putting salt on. Kath Smith, Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, vest and tiny shorts, anybody? In the early Aliens films, not when she got like Alien Resurrection and stuff, when she was like meant to be like a, what was she? Was she like an alien, or she was like a reincarnation or something? Once she was, I forget what she was now. Like she might have been a robot. She was a bit aggressive looking in those ones. Francesca played Maria the waitress. I'm trying to remember which one that is now. I'll have to Google it later on. And he says, game of Aliens at the weekend by the looks. And Marcus says, despite living in Texas, I really don't sweat even during the summer, dressed in all black with a trench coat. I always find that weird. I mean, we obviously in the UK, and especially where I live, it's pretty cold, miserable most of the time. So when you go anywhere that's hot, or when you get a hot day, you're instantly like shorts on, t-shirt, feeling the heat, especially when you go abroad. And it's like, obviously these people are used to living in that heat, but they're dressed in like suits and stuff, going about their everyday work. I used to hate having to go to work in a suit when the weather was hot. So yeah, it must be just one of those things where people just acclimatise and get used to it. Lord Maiden says, don't forget the mug. Peter says, the short waitress that spit when she talked. I don't remember that, mate. I think Vicky Michelle might be the one I'm thinking of. She was the one with the dark hair. I remember her. Was she the short blonde one? Is that the one that you're talking about? She was a clone. That was it, mixed with Xenophobia. I knew it was something. I couldn't remember that one. Peter says, correct, kick-ass bitch. Yes, Jim says, I went on the tube in a suit once and it was so hot I almost passed out. Yeah, I remember, like kind of like shirt and tie and suit and stuff with work. I don't have to wear that anymore, that's for sure, mate. All my suits have been put into storage, you know. Yes, not something I have to do very often. Well, folks, I think I'm gonna call it there. I think I'm running out of rubbish to talk about for now. So I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up. Marcus is saying if I ever visit Northern England, I would freeze my butt off even in summer. It's one of those things you kind of get used to it. Like, I mean, I don't really wear a coat very often when I go out anywhere, so we kind of like get used to cold weather, but crave sunshine. John says, having just taken the dog out, I can confirm it's cold and raining in the northeast. Andy says Vicky Michelle was the one with the nice hair. Yeah, that's the one I think I was thinking of. On that bombshell, as they would say, I think we'll call it a night. So, thank you very much, everyone that's come at night. Thank you, everybody that took part in the Dreadball challenge. I will put something up in the next day or two about April's challenge. I think we'll give folks about 6 weeks, so don't stress too much if I don't get it up straight away. Pardon me, that's what she said. And what was I just going to say? Thank you to everyone that's donated in the stream tonight. If you are thinking of joining the Patreon, Christian sharing the link there, please do. I would love to get some new Patreons in as well, get some fresh blood into the chat and stuff as well, and obviously try and help keep BlackJack Legacy running as a long-term channel. Tomorrow is the first of the month. Tomorrow is a good day to join the Patreon. If you join today, then you will pay today and you'll pay again tomorrow. So if you are thinking of joining the Patreon, join tomorrow. Lord Maiden says the mug draw. There was no prize made for this one. I never planned to do a prize, but we can do one. I will sort one out. We'll do it on next Monday. Then I'll put all the names into a hat and we'll draw one out. But I hadn't planned on doing one for the Dreadball challenge. So yeah, I apologise if I'm pretty sure if or did I say I would? I'll go back and check the small print. I didn't think I was, but yes, we'll do one. Seems that 20 odd people completed it. So yes, anyway, folks, thank you very much, folks. Enjoy your Easter weekend, and I will see you on Easter Monday on the BlackJack Legacy live stream on Monday. So take care, folks, and I will see you then. And again, yes, don't forget, if you Cursed City on Saturday, if you're pre-ordering it, don't be late. Thanks, folks. See you then. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.